Come hang with the Woodward Sports Crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays. Join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line. Featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
It's the damn morning show. Welcome, everybody. It's a Friday, and we're fired up. Matthew McConaughey would be proud.
Oh, yeah.
That's the GOAT right there.
He is the GOAT. We're back. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show on a Friday. I'm happy to be here. I got my partner in crime with another flannel, even though, hey, we're calling him Sam now, minus the flannel. He's chilling. How you feeling, Sam?
I don't know if he's chilling.
I know. Well, he's ready to go. Did you indulge in some dispo after yesterday's show? Where are you at mentally right now? What's going on?
I'm great mentally. I'm always great mentally. I did not indulge in any dispo, but I still had to do some work for the network, which I always do, but a fairly relaxing evening home, and took the dog for a walk. Had some
Jake.
Yes, Jake. Everybody knows old Jake, and maybe tonight we might even take a trip to old Premier Pet to get him some food. Shout out Premier Pet.
Hey, you know what matters though is today, and I'm gonna let the people decide if they want to do this, and we might do this. You're on the stand, Sam Flannel.
All right,
and not from us. Like, hey, we love you. The people put you on the stand, and at 9 o'clock we have the phone lines open and working. So all the people that want to call in and they want to argue with Sam or just talk about the Chargers and Lions game, which we'll be previewing a lot today on the show, feel free. At 9 o'clock, we'll be taking a lot of those phone calls. So it'll be a lot of fun. People versus Sam Flannel. It's like a court trial.
Shout out the thumbnail, O.J. Simpson.
Yeah, literally.
The gloves don't fit.
Yeah. Hey, if it doesn't fit, you know what happens after that. But regardless, guys, in a couple things to get into, of course, we had the Redwings play last night, which, disappointing, to say the least. And for all the people that watch Big D Energy, and this is going to sound pretty messed up, but I talked about a little two-legger I was going to go in with. Alex DeBrincat a goal and 3 shots. I actually forgot to place the parlay, and he didn't get a goal. So, thank God. But you know what I did instead? Went in on Thursday Night Football and lost anyway. So, it was a good night. Took another L. And that game was garbage. It really was.
So bad.
And it really was. It was bad. And you watch it. By the way, my Amazon Prime experience watching the game was so bad. Amazon Prime is just bad. Like, I don't know if anybody else has this issue, but when I watch, there's always the lag. There's always problems. The actual experience is probably not what a lot of people hope for when you actually get Amazon Prime. If you already have Amazon Prime, then yeah, you're fine. You already have it. But if you got it to watch some of these games, I'd be so pissed off. But I had to watch a garbage game with garbage circumstances and a garbage experience. But the overall takeaway yesterday, man, Bryce Young, is it time to be concerned yet? And I, watching Herbstreit kind of talk about it on the broadcast, and he kept making the same point about Bryce Young, which I actually agree with. And you watch the game, and it's so true. They got no weapons.
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching Adam Thielen at 33 years old. He leads every other receiver by like 400 yards. Like, he is the only guy that you can actually depend on, and it's sad because he has no one on that team that he can grow with. He's 33 years old. And even Jonathan Mingo, he's a rookie, so there's going to take some time there. And then you have guys like DJ Chark, who's my guy, but I don't think he fits in what Bryce Young needs right now as a type of receiver. So that whole situation, and then you see the opposite happening in Houston. You see C.J. Stroud playing really well, but Nico Collins, he's an incredible receiver. Credit to you, Sam Flannel, for calling that, but he's been balling. Dalton Schultz has been really good. You could say, well, C.J.'s elevating those guys, but to really compare and contrast, very different situations. But I'm not out on Bryce Young yet, but man, he did not look great yesterday, but neither did that Panthers offense.
No, that Panthers offense, when it comes to weapons, is definitely among the worst in the NFL. It's Adam Thielen and basically nobody at this point. They don't really have a running back. They don't have any wide receivers. They don't really have a tight end.
Don't disrespect Tommy Tremble.
Tommy Tremble, the former Fighting Irish. I actually remember Tommy Tremble, by the way. But no, he stinks. Hayden Hurst stinks. We all know that. Chuba Hubbard, except for last year against the Lions, he stinks.
Miles Sanders might be one of the worst contracts in modern day history.
Speaking of who stinks, Miles Sanders, absolutely. But here's the thing: Bryce Young he might also stink too. I get it. He's got a bad situation. But last night against the Bears, a Bears defense which has not been very good this year, he led his team to a grand total of 6 offensive points. Their one touchdown was a punt return. I mean, I don't know if Montez Sweat makes that big of a difference, and now the Bears are all of a sudden the monsters of the Midway again. But no, I'm just kidding.
Well, I have something to say about that, but continue.
No, but the reality is that Bryce Young, his start to his career has definitely been concerning. I don't think his situation helps him. But then you look at the fellow rookies who have come out in this year's draft. C.J. Stroud is a fringe MVP candidate as a rookie, and I kind of called it before the season. I'm not taking a victory lap that the Houston Texans have a better complement of weapons than anybody thought. I mean, Nico Collins is balling. Tank Dell is balling. Noah Brown's made some plays. Dalton Schultz has made some plays. I mean, that passing game has looked really good. Even Anthony Richardson, when he played, I know that his style of play is going to lead to him getting hurt, and I hope he corrects that because it already happened this year. I mean, even when he played, he showed some flashes. He showed that he can maybe be a franchise quarterback. Will Levis in his debut game had 4 touchdown passes, but he has the help of DeAndre Hopkins to work with. So it's not just that Bryce Young has looked the worst out of all of them and really shown nothing. It's that I don't know how they're going to complement this roster and this offense. It looks really bleak in Carolina.
Yeah, it does. And the other thing, too, and I'll read some of these comments because people are chiming in here. Soft Jones, not saying Young is trash. I just think Stroud is much better right now. That's fair. Earlier, Stroud is better. And the fact that Carolina did give up all that capital to go get Bryce Young, and then you see Will Levis, you see C.J. Stroud. I mean, you see Clayton too. No, I'm just kidding.
1.2 QBR. That was a whiff.
No, but regardless, it does put pressure. But again, you see Trevor Lawrence in his first year. Jared Goff in his first year wasn't great either. I mean, don't forget that. Matthew
Shout
Stafford.
out Jeff Fisher.
That was
Jeff Fisher's fault.
That's
definitely
true too.
all Jeff Fisher's fault.
But Stafford as well wasn't great. So I don't want to hit the panic button yet. But to kind of speak, and I don't know if you have anything to say on that, Lucas, but I want to talk more about that Bears defense because, dude, I don't even know if it's just Montez Sweat. But they got a pretty good unit, dude. I'm telling you, they're already, top 2 in the NFL in rushing yards allowed, only behind the Eagles, and Lions are right behind the Bears. So the run defense was already pretty stout. The secondary, though, I don't hate it. Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, Eddie Jackson. They got T.J. Edwards now and Tremaine Edmonds, who Tremaine Edmonds missed the game, and he's overpaid, but regardless, he's not a bad player. And now they got Montez Sweat on the defensive line to go with Yannick. You know, I kind of like what they're doing in Chicago. It's not I'm not saying they're one of the best defenses, but you watched last night, and I don't know if it's more on Carolina's offensive line, but they were getting pressure, dude. And Montez Sweat had like 3 or 4 quarterback hits last night. He played really well.
I mean, it has a lot to do with Carolina's offensive line, but Chicago, they're a respectable defense. I don't think they're washed like they were the last couple of years. Their secondary's okay. If Jalen Johnson stays there, which I don't think he will, but if he's able to stick around, they definitely got a piece in the secondary to build around. Kyler Gordon looked all right. Eddie Jackson's kind of hit or miss. Jaquan Brisker's the same way. Jaquan Brisker's like he's kind of like Kirby-ish, but not. I don't think he's quite as good in coverage, but I mean they got a decent secondary. T.J. Edwards did solid, but as far as Bryce Young goes, I don't want to hit the panic button yet, but I understand not a lot of talent on the outside, didn't have a lot of time, but there were some throws that he made where I'm just like, bro. Like there was one late in the game to Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst ran like a 15, 20-yard bench route.
Do it behind him?
It was just right at his ankles.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I know
I'm
exactly
like, dude,
what you're talking about.
there was a couple, almost the pick at the end of the game where it was straight to the linebacker. It was nice disguise by Chicago where they acted like they were going to blitz the linebacker and pulled him out last second, but that was a bad one. There's a couple drag routes which was straight to the turf. I think Carolina's just overall right now in a shithole, and they just traded away their first-round pick last year, so they got some trouble brewing in Carolina for sure because they don't have a lot of cap space either.
And I will say this too, and this is credit to the Bears, the fact that you're right, in terms of the numbers, they do have the number 2 ranked rush defense in the NFL. That is kind of a minor miracle because one of the free agents that they got, Yannick Ngakoue, is famously terrible against the run. But overall, they have been very, very good. And you mentioned that they do have some talent. Jalen Johnson, he's been a borderline Pro Bowl level corner this year. Eddie Jackson, though, I've always been confused by him because in 2018, he was the best safety on planet Earth. And ever since then, he just hasn't been the same.
In this comment too, and I knew this was coming. I knew this would come after just mentioning that. Tailgate gang. Only you guys can make a 3 in whatever team seem like they're about ready to come in and whoop Detroit's ass.
We never said that.
What? I mean, come on, guys. Really?
Goodness.
I can't even give anyone in the NFC North a little bit of credit. Now, offensively, they still stink, and even with Fields, I don't think it puts much fear into my eyes. But still, they're built, and they got what, picks 1 and
probably picks 2 and 3. I don't see how the Giants do not get the 1 pick, especially after last.
And they're going to
night.
get Caleb.
Yeah, they better. They
would have to. Yeah, you're right.
Actually,
for Daniel
crazy
Jones.
stat about that. Since the Bears won last night, this actually increased their chances of getting that number 1 overall pick.
Oh yeah, because they have Carolina's pick too.
Well,
Yeah.
you know what Ryan Poles was thinking? We're watching that game. He's like, "Is there any way we can both lose? Can the Panthers and the Bears both lose?
Right,
Let's
yeah.
just tie.
Let's just tie, because I own both your guys' picks. But no, I listen. We'll see the Bears. Ryan Poles stinks for the most part, so. Yeah. We'll see if, somehow he'll mess it up and Matt Eberflus, hopefully he'll stick around. Because until last night, he had one. I forgot his record, but it was like 1 and 9 in one-score games. It's so bad. Hey.
Shout out Toledo, baby.
Toledo's own.
Did he save his job? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
He kept it for another week.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, the fact that the run defense is so good, at least by the numbers, maybe he could use that as like, you see, the run defense has improved. It's the offense's fault. I mean, the Bears, there are a whole litany of things that are wrong with them, but at least the run defense is good.
This one, Super Juggernaut 87 says, think if Young had McCaffrey still. I mean, yeah, that would help any quarterback.
help.
I mean, McCaffrey's he's a freak. So yeah, you got a point there. Man, today on the show we're going to preview a lot of the Chargers-Lions game. We'll get into that 8:15, of course. 8:30, we'll talk about Aiden Hutchinson and some of his numbers. What do we expect out of him this Sunday? And who do we expect to kind of shine around him? 9 o'clock again. We'll be opening up the phones, because I wanted the people to call in. If you have comments on the game, you have comments on Jameson Williams from yesterday, we weren't able to get to the phones, then feel free to call in. I'll put the number in the chat later on in the show. But before then, at 8:45, I'm going to ask a question I ask typically on Fridays, and it's a fun question. Who needs to step up offensively and defensively for the Lions to have success in L.A.? And then 9:16, we'll go around the NFL. We'll pick winners and losers. Last time we did this, I was on fire. We'll see if I can keep that up. I might lose every single pick. Who knows? And then, of course, 9:40 and 9:50. You guys know what time it is. 9:40, what's trending with Lucas? And then 9:50, we'll get to mailbag. We'll go to break right now. When we get back, we'll start previewing the game. But first, I want to read this comment. Chuck Brewer says, Jeff, you're saying that the Lions are going to lose twice to both the Bears and the Vikings? Yeah. No, Chuck.
Smack the panic button. Lions season is over.
Yeah, Chuck. You know what, Chuck? It's exactly what I'm saying, Chuck. All right, let's go to break. Like I said, when we come back, we'll preview the game itself. But first, Sam, could you tell us about our friends over at Lady Jane's?
Absolutely, Lady Jane's, where I get these A-plus haircuts from the A-plus stylist. Come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience. Register to win a trip of your dreams and all expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Les Stanford Chevrolet, because what happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people, of course, and the same great service that customers have come to know and trust. Well, they're on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford at Dearborn today. Find the brand you want at lesstanford.com. Welcome back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Freddie Felt 313. What's good, Jeff? Freddie, my guy. Appreciate you joining the show, as always. John Macroon says, did Sam get the Lady Jane's intern to style his hair?
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. I got you.
People talking about the commercial again, dude. I don't know. Hey, I'm just trying to do the people justice by plugging that thing back in. So, that's all I can do. I'm doing my duty in helping the people out, helping D-Mac out so that man can flourish. It's the least I can do. But speaking of the least I can do, the least I can do is talk more about this Lions and Chargers game because, guys, this Sunday, 4 o'clock on the West Coast, Lions take on the Los Angeles Chargers. And there's a lot of different angles to approach this game at. We could talk about the quarterbacks, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff. You could talk about Aiden Hudson, which we'll talk about later. The importance of this win, everything. But the question I have for everybody, and Sam, I'll let you go first on this, is what do the Detroit Lions need to do in order to leave LA with a victory? What is one or two things that the Lions absolutely must do on Sunday?
All right, so I have kind of a list. Whenever I get asked questions like this, I take a look at what their opponent does well and what they don't do well. And when it comes to things that the Chargers actually do exceptionally well, there are more things than you would think. First of all, the Los Angeles Chargers have a +9 turnover differential, and the Lions' turnover differential is actually kind of average at 0. The thing about the Lions is their defense hasn't forced that many turnovers. They forced some really big ones, like the Brian Branch pick 6, for example, but Jared Goff has thrown a couple of himself, and David Montgomery had that bad fumble. It wasn't really all his fault, but it resulted in a touchdown against Seattle. This defense, even though it has had some pitfalls, has been opportunistic, and Justin Herbert has done a really good job of taking care of the football. So you can't turn the football over, and it would be nice if the Lions could force one, maybe an Austin Eckler fumble or a Justin Herbert interception. Another thing that the Chargers do well, that the Lions actually do well to counteract that, is the Chargers are actually 3rd in the NFL in sacks at 31, led by, of course, Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, who have both had very, very good years. But the good news is the Lions have a damn good offensive line and one elite tackle and one really, really good tackle who can help counteract that, because the Lions are 6th best in sacks allowed. They've only allowed 16. The Chargers have sacked the quarterback 31 times. So it's going to be a something has to give kind of moment. Mm-hmm. Another thing, though, in which the Chargers do not do well at all, in which the Lions really, really need to exploit, the Los Angeles Chargers are dead last in the NFL in passing yards allowed per game. Even though that secondary has some talent, Asante Samuel Jr. has had a good season. A guy like Michael Davis on the opposite end, he should not be a starting corner in this NFL. Absolutely. Whoever goes up against Michael Davis Michael Davis should allow 7+ receptions for 100+ yards and at least 1 touchdown when targeted, maybe even more. And even Derwin James. Derwin James is a very, very good player, but by the numbers, he's actually had the worst season of his career up to this point. But Derwin James is obviously somebody that you have to worry about, but he hasn't been the all-pro Derwin James this year. And the Lions, conversely, are 6th in the NFL in pass offense. We all know Jared Goff is having a great year again, kind of a similar year to what he had last year. And this is the game, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit more later, in which the Lions have their fullest complement of weapons and offensive line that they've had all season, including the Kansas City Chiefs game, because if you remember, during the Chiefs game, Jameson Williams was suspended. So that is something that the Lions absolutely need to exploit. They're going to need a big game out of Jared Goff. To kind of summarize, they're going to need a big game out of Jared Goff. They can't turn the football over, and they need to keep Jared Goff upright. And I think at least in a couple of those categories, the Lions do something well to counteract what the Chargers also do well. There is definitely a clear pathway to win this game for the Lions.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up the quarterbacks, because that is part of it. And
Yes.
Jared, to Jared's credit, will be getting a full offensive line back healthy, which is number one. You get Frank Ragnow back, you get Jonah back, and now you got Graham Glasgow officially starting for the rest of the season. So again, healthy offensive line. You're getting David Montgomery back. You're getting your bell cow back. No more Craig Reynolds. By the way, love Craig, but David Montgomery, what he's been doing, you need him, especially in the red zone. We've seen how much they've struggled without him in the red zone. That's number one. But to me, Lucas, this game, and we talked about it yesterday because we did that video for Fox 2. The biggest number one thing to me is what they do up front on both sides of the ball. offensively and defensively. This game's about Aiden. This game's about Aleem McNeil. This game is about Julian Okwara, Charles Harris, even if he's active, whoever's on the other side of Aiden. Those guys are going to dictate the pace of this game, because I'll tell you one thing, that offensive line for the Chargers, besides Rashawn Slater, nobody else on that team can pass block. They stink. Rashawn Slater's side, yeah, he's been good. You know, I wouldn't say he's better than Penei Sewell, but still, he's been good. But the rest of those guys are all in question. And the same goes for the other side. You just mentioned they're, third in the league in sacks. Yep. This goes up to this offensive line, too. It's about keeping Jared upright and getting after Justin Herbert, because we know about Keenan Allen. We know what he's going to do. That dude's going to find a way to get open. I mean, he had sauce on him on Monday night, and he still found ways to get open. And him and Herbert have a great rapport. So it's not about stopping Keenan. It's about trying to slow him down a little bit. And you know what helps that? Getting pressure on Justin Herbert. So I think this game is going to be dictated up front, Lucas.
Yeah, it's going to be dictated up front. What you were saying about the Lions' defensive line is absolutely true, but I think the way the Lions can just seal this W, run David Montgomery, run Jahmyr Gibbs behind this number one offensive line in football. Again, everybody's like, because Brandon Katz all week through the chat, the Chargers' run defense really isn't that bad. To their point, it's not. But the Lions' run game is elite, and the way to limit Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen, just like you did against Patrick Mahomes in week 1, keep them off the field, and the Lions can run the ball against any defensive line in the league. I'm sorry. Like, they have 3 Pro Bowlers, in my opinion, on that offensive line. They have, if David Montgomery was able to stay healthy all year, a Pro Bowl running back. Jahmyr Gibbs is just an absolute stud. We saw that against the Raiders. You keep doing that, the Chargers are going to shoot themselves in the foot eventually with Brandon Staley as their head coach. Just keep doing the chunk plays, let that open the play action pass. You can hit Sam Laporta, you can hit Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Lions just really need to play their game, in my opinion. And by doing that, they're going to win the battle up front, like you said, Jeff.
Yeah, the biggest thing, too, time of possession, everything. I mean, Herbert's one of the most talented quarterbacks they played this year. We know that. And people will bring that up. Well, you played Jordan Love, you played Bryce Young, you played Baker. But guess what? They played Patrick Mahomes on the road and still won. So they can do it. They've shown that. And Herbert, and I saw a tweet yesterday, Lions fans, or a couple of tweets actually, crapping on Justin Herbert. Guys, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Like, Herbert is still, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Hasn't been playing well this year in spots. And I talked about a couple weeks ago, late in games. For whatever reason, a couple games this year, the last plays ended on Herbert throwing an interception. Now, I don't think that's going to keep up the rest of the season. He still is one of the best quarterbacks they've played. But I'm telling you one thing, this defense, especially with how they've been playing, and if Jerry Jacobs, Cam Sutton, who we kind of talked about yesterday, those guys going to have to be stout. But really, like I said, Sam, it starts up front because you get pressure on Justin Herbert. He reminds me a lot of Matthew Stafford early in his career, like guys that could put up a ton of numbers, but they're prone to making mistakes, timely sometimes mistakes. And if you can get pressure on Justin Herbert, it's only a matter of time. It really is.
Yeah, and honestly, this should be a game in which the Lions should have no trouble getting at least consistent pressure because, as you mentioned before, besides for Rashawn Slater, this Los Angeles Chargers offensive line stinks. There's nobody that's good. Are we fans of Will Clapp?
Will Clapp.
No. Hey, whoa. Put some respect on Will Clapp's name.
I will not put respect on Will Clapp's name. The only one on that offensive line who deserves respect is Rashawn Slater, and even he at times has struggled, and he missed virtually an entire season due to injury, which I think kind of hindered his development a little bit because as much as we like Rashawn Slater, as much as we have to respect him, he has not been the same guy since his incredible, I believe, second-team All-Pro rookie season. So there should be no trouble. There should be no trouble winning the battle in the trenches. And you mentioned it. You mentioned it before about the Chargers having a very, very good run defense by the numbers, which is something I kind of overlooked and slept on earlier in the week. But when I did some digging, the Chargers do have the 7th-ranked run defense when it comes to yards allowed per game. And that is mostly – and guess who has been the leaders of that run defense? It's been Joey Bosa. It's been Khalil Mack. It's been Tuli. Who would have thunk it,
But you know what I'm curious, though? And this was the interesting part of that when you say that because – what kind of offensive lines have they faced?
I was going to say, you know what, Jeff Iafrate, you are a very, very smart man because
Let's talk about that for a second.
I was just going to bring that up because the Detroit Lions, the Chargers have a good run defense. Well, the Lions have a better run offense, and you got your full complement of weapons back together on the field for the first time in what seems like forever. As I've said before, David Montgomery has shined in a couple of games individually, had 2 100-yard games. Jahmyr Gibbs had an incredible game against the Raiders. Now let's see them do it both together. Let's see them both optimally used. I think that even though the Chargers have a good run defense, they didn't look so good when they played the Dolphins early on in the year, and they had to run up against that run offense led by Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane. This is a Lions rushing attack which is elite, and I think moving forward is going to be even better than it's been if Montgomery and Gibbs can both stay healthy, because now you have both of them with the confidence, with the usage. Each of them have shined individually, and you couldn't really say that up until that Raiders game. It could be deadly, and I think the Chargers are in for a long day.
Lucas, you got the offensive lines?
Yeah.
Let's go through them.
I want you guys to tell me when you hear an offensive line better than Detroit Lions, okay?
Okay.
Week 1, Miami Dolphins.
No.
Nope.
Week 2, Tennessee Titans.
No.
Derrick Henry had 80 yards that game, just by the way.
Wow.
Minnesota Vikings.
No.
Las Vegas Raiders.
No.
No. Hell no, actually.
Dallas Cowboys.
No.
Close. You'd think close, right?
No.
But I'm saying the Cowboys have a good
Closer
offensive
than the
line.
rest, but no.
And the Cowboys
No.
had 98 rushing yards, 40 by Dak on the ground, and Tony Pollard's not an in-between-the-tackles type of guy, so imagine David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs instead of just Tony Pollard. But anyways, Kansas City Chiefs.
Close,
No,
but no.
no.
I would lean Lions, but that's closer than the Cowboys.
Juwan Taylor stinks.
Chicago Bears.
No.
No.
And finally, last week, the mighty New York Jets.
No.
No.
That's the worst in
We
football.
can agree that this is probably a respectable run defense, but if there's a week when it's going to get exposed, it's probably going to be this Sunday.
Yeah, and that's the thing. King Tommy says, do they have a good run defense, or is their pass defense so atrocious that teams just attack in the air?
That's a good
Well, that's
way
the
to do
thing.
it, too.
If your pass defense is last in the NFL, then your defense is bad. Because it's,
Right.
it's not like their rush defense has been dominant. It hasn't been like the Lions' rush defense, for example. Shout out Lions rush defense. It's been good though. But when you're giving up so many passing yards, and that has cost them games. I mean, the Chargers, with all of the things that they do well this year, they should not be a 4-4 team, but yet there they are, because their
Yeah.
pass defense is dead last. You can't do that. In the modern NFL, that is detrimental. You just can't do that.
You know what's interesting, too? And I found this stat. The Chargers right now are top 10 in big plays, meaning more than 25 yards,
Yes.
25 yards or more passes, yards passing, whatever, big plays. And they're 9th right now. You know who's number 1? Random thought?
I wonder who.
CJ Stroud and the Texans.
Hey.
Isn't that crazy? They have 24 big plays, meaning 25 or more yards through the air. And the Chargers are 9th with 19. So this is an offense that is reliant on big plays. Austin Eckler, as much as he's great in the passing game, he's not a guy that's going to get big chunks in the run game. He's more of a bruiser. In the red zone, he's really good. But he's not someone I'm sitting there going, oh, yeah, this Lions defense is going to have to be on all toes. Like, they'll be fine. No, they'll be fine with Austin Eckler, I think, personally. Maybe in the passing game he's a threat. But other than that, it's about the big plays for the Chargers. That's what they rely on. Now they don't have Mike Williams as of right now. He's injured. But Josh Palmer.
Josh Palmer's out, too.
He's out?
Yeah, and
Yes,
right
he's
now,
gone.
just for like context,
That's even better.
Joshua Kelly leads the Chargers in rushing yards, and I know Eckler was hurt, but it's with 323 yards.
See that?
Like, they have no ground game.
Yeah, that's the biggest point. And I know people in the chat. I mean, you got Adam in the chat too. Shout out to him,
out.
the GOAT. He says their defensive head coach blows games more often than it. Oh my
God.
God.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
is a good way to not finish that
yeah.
one.
No. I want to stay on air. Let's. Yeah. Wow. Is he? I mean, he does. I don't. Yeah. I'm trying to
Just move on.
Yeah, okay, you know what? He might be on. But anyway. Yeah, that's messed up. God, no. Wow. But Brandon Staley does stink, though. And if you're talking about who do you trust in this game, you're giving the head coaching edge to Dan Campbell.
Well, and you mentioned something earlier about the Chargers and their big plays. Who are the wide receivers which have given them a lot of big plays? Like, quiet is kept because Mike Williams is going to miss the vast majority of the year. When he was on the field, he was balling. When Joshua Palmer was has been on the field, he's been balling. Right now, when you're the Los Angeles Chargers, you basically got Keenan Allen, who is still elite, and then Quentin Johnston, who has basically been the opposite of Tank Dell and Puka Nacua and Jordan Addison. Quentin Johnston's awful right now.
He's been bad.
And the Lions, there's no way the Lions give up the coming out party to Quentin Johnston,
No.
right? There's
You'd
not a
hope
chance in
not.
hell. Not a chance in hell.
If it does, it's a good sign. Like, that means Keenan Allen probably isn't doing his thing. They're like,
That's fair.
because no Josh Palmer. It'd be a good sign.
You know what? You know what's interesting too, watching last night's game, is how the Panthers kind of approached DJ Moore. Is kind of how I think the Lions will approach Keenan. Like, double Keenan, make everyone else beat you. Like, just he's the guy. Like, make. You know who they got?
Donald Parham.
Yes. The 6'8".
Gerald Everett.
Yeah, Gerald Everett. Like, they got the who's the receiver they got? He's a short guy, does a lot of their punt returns. But regardless,
Yeah, no, he used to play for the Saints.
yeah,
It's
like
gonna bother me.
make everybody else beat you. Make Quentin Johnston beat you. He has been absolutely trashed this year. He's supposed to be their big play, kind of their Mike Williams. He has not done that.
Big for nothing.
That's what he
Good
is.
for nothing.
Doing cardio out there,
Getting
as Mike Gentry would say, getting steps in. All right, let's go to break. When we come back, we'll talk more about Aiden Hutchinson, and I have a question. Should we be concerned, or do you think this is a bounce-back game? I'll let Sam speak on that. I'll give my opinion on that. Who else needs to step up on this defensive line? We'll get into all that and more, but first, Sam Flannel, could you tell everybody where they can get a nice, relaxing Honolulu Blue joint, potentially?
Absolutely. Experience Dispo Romeo, a team that curates an exclusive atmosphere mixed with fresh inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. The first ever cannabis mall of its kind is conveniently located off of Van Dyke and 32 Mile Road in Romeo. Dispo Romeo is now open late night until midnight every day except Sunday. Can it get any better than that? Dispo Dispensary, DispoShops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
All right, when buying or selling real estate, Mark White is the place you definitely have to go. They've got the minute-to-minute listing agreement with Mark White and Associates. All you got to do is you got to visit their website at markwhitesales.com or give them a call at 248-290-8242. Mark White, Mark, it's sold.
Wow. Wow, that was...
Did you see the screen? I'm just reading.
We're back. Good morning.
Where are we seeing it, Plano?
There it is. Market sold. Wow.
Y'all think I just made that up, don't you?
Yeah, that if Flannel was cooking, give this man a raise. We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for joining the show. If you could do me a favor, hit the like button on the stream. It does help the show, helps the network, helps the algorithm kind of push the show out there. So appreciate you guys for joining. We're talking Chargers, Lions. I want to get into Aiden Hutchinson because it technically has not had a sack in a month. And Neil Rule will bring that up.
Jesus
you know
Christ.
he will bring that up. And damn is right. You've seen other guys step up, and Aiden, you can't deny his impact. I want to get that clear. That's where me and Neil Rule kind of go separate ways. Sacks are important, yes, but pressures, like, although PFF heavily favors pressures and everyone freaks out about pressures, they are important. Like Montez Sweat last night, there was a lot of times where he didn't get a sack, but he made Bryce Young uncomfortable. That's a real thing in the NFL, and Aiden does that on a pretty consistent basis. Let me read you an interesting stat. Right now, Aiden Hutchinson leads the NFL in two key categories. This is per my good friend Danny Bennett. He tweeted this out. 28 quarterback pressures and 17 quarterback hurries. Hurries are important too, guys. That's also part of this. Bryce Young was hurrying a lot last night. That affects the game. Moves the quarterback out the pocket, especially for a guy like Herbert who likes to stand in the pocket and make plays. So my question to everybody is, you concerned about Aiden? How big of a game is this for him specifically? Because I would say yes, it is a big game for him. But it's got to get to the quarterback by committee once again. And you saw that Monday night against the Raiders. Tracy Walker, Alex Anzalone, Julian Okwara got one, which in 40 snaps, he's got 2 sacks.
Yeah.
So Julian Okwara could be that a little bit of an X factor. Not saying he's going to be a 10-sack guy, but he could be the difference, though, if you're getting consistent pressure now that you don't have James Houston. I would say I'm not worried. I think Aiden gets back in the sack column this Sunday. Book him for 1 or 2 sacks. If he can have a game where he completely wrecks this, it could get out of hand very quickly. But Sam Flannel, what's your concern level for Aiden Hutchinson? Or are you going to defend him like a Michigan simp? Which way are you going?
Oh, because I'm a Michigan
I'm
simp.
kidding.
No.
Flannel, you are a Michigan simp.
Well, I am,
Okay.
but that has nothing to
say.
do with like my Aiden
I
Hutchinson
am a
love.
proud Aiden Hutchinson nut hucker.
Well, that's true. Thank you.
JV, you sexy bastard.
No, thank you for that, JB. My concern level is absolutely 0. And I read that pressure stat. I believe it was on Pro Football Reference, but I found some other ones on PFF, which is also very, very kind to Aiden Hutchinson. Here's the reality of the situation. This idea that this whole narrative, he hasn't had a sack in a month and people are just perpetuating it, I think it's just very short-sighted and very, very, I would say, ill-informed. Even though that's technically true, Aiden Hutchinson has been very impactful. Pressures have been all of a sudden treated like they don't matter by some. I'm not saying all, I'm saying some, but here's the reality when it comes to Aiden Hutchinson. I'll give you 2 very, very good examples. Aiden Hutchinson dominated the Chiefs game because he got consistent pressure on Patrick Mahomes. He did not get a sack. Although Aiden Hutchinson did not get a sack in the Raider game, remember when Jimmy Garoppolo had Devontae Adams wide open for his own end zone? If he hits him, it's probably a 97-yard touchdown. Guess who put the pressure on him to make him get rid of the ball before he was ready and inaccurately? Yes, that was Aiden Hutchinson. And if Jimmy Garoppolo hits that pass to Devontae Adams, maybe we're talking about the Raiders winning that game. I'm not saying that it's for sure, but those are the type of things that pressures do to opposing quarterbacks. And when you look at Aiden Hutchinson, when you look at what he's done this season, and I know a lot of people don't like PFF, but I think this is very, very important. Aiden Hutchinson is the 7th highest rated edge rusher according to PFF. 7th in the entire NFL. Do you know who's above him? Myles Garrett, Nick Bosa, Max Crosby, DeMarcus Lawrence, TJ Watt, Micah Parsons. So basically the 5 universally regarded best edge rushers in the NFL, plus DeMarcus Lawrence, and then Aiden Hutchinson. And when you look at those top 7, even though people like to get their you-know-whats in a wad over Aiden Hutchinson's lack of sacks, he still has more this season than Nick Bosa and DeMarcus Lawrence. And he has the 3rd most quarterback pressures out of all of those players, according to PFF, only behind Max Crosby and Micah Parsons. And oh, by the way, Max Crosby has played in 9 games. So I'm not worried at all about Aiden Hutchinson. He has still played incredibly well. And oh, by the way, just so we get these 2 things out of the way as well. You know how I know that Aiden Hutchinson has played really, really well? Because he is the best player on a defense that it went from last year being 28th in points allowed per game. This year it's 14th. It's top half in the NFL, which is exactly what we wanted from this defense. And oh, by the way, I know a lot of people want to bring up Kayvon Thibodeau and his sacks, and this really, really drives me crazy. Listen to this stat, guys. Just listen. Aiden Hutchinson is the 7th highest ranked edge rusher according to PFF.
What?
Hold on. Do you know where Kayvon Thibodeau is ranked? 85th.
Yeah.
85th.
Well, that's why partially I don't really live or die by PFF.
Oh, okay. So we all want to like give him Sackmaster K his flowers for having 8.5 sacks, and we want to crap on Aiden Hutchinson. Kayvon Thibodeau, like. I look at PFF for outliers. Aiden Hutchinson is ranked 7th. Kayvon Thibodeau is 85th. And by the way, Trayvon Walker is 86th, by the way, and he has 3.5 sacks. But he's almost as good as Aiden Hutchinson because he only has 1 last sack, right? It's just Aiden Hutchinson, to me, is the least of the Lions' problems. He is the defensive MVP, and you know what? If he does get a sack or 2 this weekend, he is right back in the Defensive Player of the Year race. Right back in it.
And to kind of speak more about the impact Aiden has, it reminds me of when I watched last night. I watched the Bears defense, and by the way, again, I'm not trying to make them sound like they're the 85 Bears, but what I am saying is the impact of having a guy that can just consistently win one-on-ones. You saw the impact if you watched the game of Montez Sweat. Like, they had, 3 or 4 sacks last night?
Yeah.
And they were bottom of the league in sacks. And I think they had 10 so far this season, and they had 3 last night. That's the type of stuff that a guy like Aiden can do for your defense. And when Robert Saleh spoke about this with Quinnen Williams, he said sacks are a little overrated. Even though, I don't think they're overrated, but to his point, it's more about, how he affects the game. Like Quinnen Williams has half a sack.
Yeah. He sucks, right?
But exactly, that's not the case at all. You watch Quinnen Williams, he wrecks games, and he opens up things for Jermaine Johnson. He opens up things for the others on that defensive line for the Jets. That's what Aiden does here. He's double teamed, he's getting chipped, he's getting everything thrown at him, and he still leads the league in pressures and hurries.
We got a video of Herbert talking about Hutch if you want it.
Yeah, let's play it. Here's Herbert talking about Aiden Hutchinson.
Preparation. Yeah, I've watched a couple games so far. Haven't had a ton of time, but they got a really good front seven. They get after the pass pretty well. They force a lot of turnovers, and so they're really well coached. And they fly around on defense, so it'll be a good matchup.
What about Aiden Hutchinson specifically?
Yeah, he's very talented. He's playing like a vet, and I think this is his second year, but he's about as talented as they come. Is able to do a great job of rushing the passer and playing defense. So he's definitely one of those guys you have to be aware of wherever he's on the field.
Yeah, despite all what you say about Aiden Hutchinson, Neil will bring up he hasn't had a sack in a month. You look at the impact, you can't deny what Aiden does for everyone else. That's very clear. And if you got to lean McNeil up the middle, at least generating double teams to some extent, it's going to help everybody once again. You need someone else who can just win on one-on-ones. And maybe Julian Okwara can be that guy until James Houston gets back. But you saw the impact of what James Houston did last year to Aiden Hutchinson. You had a guy that consistently, with his bend, could win one-on-ones. What happens? Well, you got to account for James Houston. Oh, well, there goes Aiden Hutchinson. He's free. There's a sack. That's what needs to happen this Sunday. Aiden will be fine. I'm not worried about Aiden in his sack numbers. He every single week the dude shows up. It's whether or not the guy gets completely triple-teamed or double-teamed, and then everyone else eats. Like last week, I believe they got 6 sacks on Monday Night Football,
yes.
And Aiden didn't have one. But do you think he had an impact in that ball game? Absolutely, Lucas. He did.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, honestly, to Flannel's point about JMO, where it's like, if we're winning, who cares? And I can see, just as far as you're saying, like JMO, like I'm somebody that wants to see JMO get more involved, but if they're winning, I mean, what's the big difference? If Aiden Hutchinson goes out and has a performance on Sunday like he did against the Kansas City Chiefs, are we really going to be bitching? If
Some
you're
people
bitching
will.
about if you're bitching about that, then you're just whining to whine just because something in your life is not correct in how you want it to be. Like Aiden Hutchinson, he's not having an all-pro type of season, but he's having a very good season. I would take Aiden Hutchinson, to Sam's point, out of any rookie defensive end that was in that class. I would take him. I would say he's a top 10 defensive end right now, and he's only in his second year.
Right.
So for you to be flipping out, not you guys, but people to flipping out about Aiden Hutchinson's sack numbers, like go look at Max Crosby's sack numbers his second year. It's probably very similar to what it is right now. Aiden Hutchinson, in his third year, I think will develop those extra skill sets to get to the quarterback consistently after he splits these double teams. But right now, like Herbert's point, that's the guy that you key in right away. That's the most talented defensive player. The Chargers already don't have a good offensive line, so when you send double teams, it's going to be a big game from Lee McNeil. I hope John Kaminsky gets a sack, but to be freaking out over sack numbers right now with Aiden Hutchinson in year 2 after what he's doing besides that, like if Aiden Hutchinson wasn't getting pressures, then yeah, I'd be a little worried. But this man is a force through the run and pass game every game.
Yeah, and I'm 100% with you. I'm just reading some of these comments. Steve says Hutch needs a rush from the interior a little more. I mean, they'll move him around as they feel necessary. But again, when you have a Lee McNeil playing the way he's playing really well too. And I got to give credit. Lee McNeil's been really solid, more than solid, to be honest with you. Chuck Brewer says Hutch is a table setter and lets everyone eat. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Our biggest takeaway. We're all in lockstep here. We're different from people that want to come at Aiden Hutchinson because of a number in the stat sheet. It's more than that. But I'm not concerned about Aiden whatsoever.
Oh, and the funny thing is, you're right. Whoever said that, that's a great comment about he's the table setter that lets everyone else eat. But he's also, while he's been doing that, he's also ate the most. He still leads this team in sacks. That's the funny thing. 4.5 sacks in 8 games while having the impact that he has is a very, very good season. I mean, he's on pace for damn near 10. And a couple of the best examples that are given of guys, and I kind of mentioned them yesterday, who have been insanely good this year, just as good as they've always been, but their sack numbers aren't there, is Nick Bosa and Quinnen Williams. Nick Bosa only has 3 sacks, but he is still probably going to make an all-pro team. I mean, maybe not because of the lack of sack numbers, but he's had an all-pro caliber season. He is the second highest rated edge rusher in the NFL according to PFF, and the same with Quinnen Williams. I know he only has a half a sack, and people are kind of, I don't know if Jets fans are freaking out, but it's a little eye-popping when you see that number, like, oh, what's wrong with Quinnen Williams? But when you watch the games, when you watch the impact that he has, and you look at the numbers, he is the third highest-ranked interior defensive lineman when it comes to PFF. And a guy like Dexter Lawrence, his sack numbers aren't eye-popping. He's the first highest-ranked edge rusher when it comes to PFF.
You think that helps Kayvon Thibodeau a little bit?
A little bit,
yeah,
I would say.
I would say so.
I'm just saying, it's not all about your sack totals. It's important, but if you can put pressure on quarterbacks makes them play significantly worse. I know that's a novel concept, I'm kidding, obviously, but it makes quarterbacks throw before they're ready. It makes quarterbacks get flushed out and throw the ball away when they have an open receiver. It makes them throw passes before the receiver is out of his break. It makes them throw interceptions. It leads the quarterback into other defensive players so that they get the sack. It's just, I don't know. I think, and I will say this, I'll give the chat a lot of credit. It seems like they're kind of in lockstep with us as well today. It's just Aiden Hutchinson is the least of the Lions' problems, and he is still the best defensive player on a defense that has improved significantly over last year. They're top half in the NFL in scoring defense, while, by the way, Jared Goff has thrown 2 pick sixes. Imagine where they'd be without the pick sixes. They might even be top 10.
No, it's a great point. Aiden Hutchinson and what he can do, he could be the reason, or he is the reason the Lions, it could swing in the Lions' favor to win games. Like he's the biggest playmaker on your defense. It is what it is. Let's go to break. When we come back, I'll ask the question to everybody, and everyone in this room will answer it. Who needs to step up this Sunday, offensively and defensively, speaking about the defense in Aiden Hutchinson, for the Lions to get a win? Very simple question. Get your answers ready. We'll answer that when we come back. But first, speaking of defenses, Sam, they don't make them like Guardian Alarm.
Absolutely. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work and people have proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT. Guardian Alarm, your local security experts.
Burgers and chicken sandwiches are taking over at Big Boy. Try our new pretzel bacon cheeseburger. Turn up the heat with Bob's Hot Chicken Sandwich. Upgrade those regular fries with our chili cheese fries or loaded baked potato fries. Hit your sweet tooth with funnel cake fries or Reese's chocolate peanut butter thunder cake. Load up on all your favorites today at Big Boy.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Let me tell you, I gotta get taller. Let me tell you about our friends over at Fairway Packing. Get your meats, pause. But for over 60 years, Fairway Packing Co. has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry aged beef. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks, or you can order online at fairwaypacking.com.
Get your meats.
Get your meats! We're back. It's the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. We got a special guest joining the show too, Adam, man. I love you. But we got more to get to. And I asked the question, and I want you guys to answer it. Who needs to step up for the Detroit Lions against the Los Angeles Chargers, offensively and defensively? And I'll go first. We'll start offensively. The one for me, guys, who needs to step up? Jameson Williams.
Whoa.
Yeah, we're at that point. And I think this is a perfect opportunity Yeah, he's a proud father. It's a perfect opportunity for J-Mo this Sunday. You have the worst passing defense in the NFL. If he can't get loose against the Chargers, we got a problem. Like, that's all I'm saying. And especially with now DPJ coming in, and he's not, I don't think he's going to play even barely any plays this Sunday. So, again, it's still J-Mo. He still has an opportunity. Josh Reynolds, I know he didn't play well last week, so he's another one you could go with. But I'm going to go with Jameson Williams. I think this is a game where he could get free. He could score. He could hit pay dirt. And even at the very minimum, 3 catches for 50 yards. Give me something. That's all I want out of Jameson Williams. So for me, offensively, I got to go with Jameson Williams. Prove to the people this is the worst passing defense you're going to face for the rest of the year. Go show out, J-Mo. Go show out.
It's we got to demand something out of our number 12 overall pick from last year, who's got 112 career receiving yards. But you know what? I actually was not going to go with Jameson Williams, believe it or not. I have somebody, and this isn't an indictment on how he's played. It's just I think he can really have a great game, one of the best of his career this week. I'm going to go with none other than Jared Goff. And like I said, this isn't an indictment. This is keep what you've been doing, but do it even better, because the Chargers have the worst pass defense in the NFL by the numbers. They're giving up the most passing yards per game. And Jared Goff, like I said before, is having another season similar to what he had last year. He's, I would say, a top 3 quarterback in the NFC without a shadow of a doubt. And this is the week 2 where you have, as I said in the beginning, your full complement of weapons. You've got Amon-Ra St. Brown. You've got David Montgomery. You've got Jahmyr Gibbs. You've got Sam Laporta. You've got Josh Reynolds. You've got Jameson Williams. And you may have Donovan Peoples-Jones. And you have an offensive line, which is basically, I would say, it looks like it's going to be, Penei, Jonah, Frank Ragnow, Glasgow, and Taylor Decker.
Yep.
That sounds to me like the best offensive line in the NFL. I don't know if it's above the Eagles right now, but I'll tell you what, if you have those guys playing together, especially as well as Graham Glasgow has been playing with all of your complement of weapons, this is a game in which Jared Goff could easily throw for 250, 300, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and have damn near a perfect passer rating. And that's what I'm not going to say if he doesn't do that, oh my God, Jared Goff stinks. That's obviously not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that everything is set up for Jared Goff to have one of the best games of his career, and it wouldn't shock me at all if he does.
And this one too, Terrence Steele, aren't the Chargers the ones that made the betting suspension joke? They are. So there's a little bit of motivation there for Jameson Williams, but all I'm asking for, Lucas, and this is partially how they use J-Mo too. I'd like to see him, on even just a post, a slant, a drag. Just get him the ball in space. It doesn't have to be a one shot downfield and you don't go to him to the fourth quarter. Like, let's try and get J-Mo the ball in a little bit different areas. Now the other part of it is, give him 5 targets, but he's got to catch 3 of them. I'm just asking for catch 60% of your targets. And I think he could do that this week.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely could. The guy I want to step up is, I've already talked about him, but David Montgomery. If David Montgomery has 80 rushing yards, this game's a W. You can just book it right now. Because if David Montgomery has 80 rushing yards, which is very possible, I don't think David Montgomery's playing bad, or has been playing bad in the past, obviously. So I'm not saying he needs to step up as he hasn't been doing anything. But coming off an injury against a high-powered offense with this offensive line in front of you, this game comes down between the trenches, like you said, Jeff. And if David Montgomery does David Montgomery things, it's like Jamal last year, but David Montgomery's much more talented. But if Jamal Williams got over 65 rushing yards, you can go back and look. The Detroit Lions won every game that he got that. So if they can do that against a shaky defense and an offense right now missing 2 of its best 3 wide receivers, I think it's game. I truly do. I think the Chargers are a good team, but people are forgetting, especially Lions fans that are nervous about it, how complete and deep the Lions are on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, the important thing about David Montgomery, Lucas, to your point, is time of possession.
Yeah.
Like, man, you could control the clock, keep Herbert on the sidelines. Like, that's only going to help you wear down that pass rush. JB, you got anyone offensively you want to step up? Or it has to step up to get a victory?
Not to steal either one of your guys' picks, but I think it's a combination of both Jared Goff and J-Mo. Like, I have full confidence in Jared Goff to perform excellent in this game. The Chargers give up over 286 yards per game to opposing teams right now. It's dead last, as Sam has said. So I have full confidence that Jared Goff will be out there just slinging the rock all over the place. So Amon-Ra, you're going to eat. Josh Reynolds, you're going to eat. Sam Laporta, you're going to eat. J-Mo, I need you to eat in this one as well too. Herbert Moore said it earlier this week when asked about him. It's like, you're going to destroy this man's confidence out there on the field if you don't allow him to get out there and produce. Just let him be out there. There's no need for him to go out there for one play and then sit on the sideline for another 2 series. No, he needs to be out there. He needs to just go out there, try and catch passes. If he drops them, okay, that's fine. But just don't let him out there for one play and then sit him for another 2 series. He needs to be out there.
Yeah, I'm with you, JB. No one's asking for 15 targets. I mean, it's within the flow of the offense. There's no way that J-Mo should be on the field for like 70% of run plays. Like, again, great blocker. At least he cares. If you're run blocking, you give a shit. So credit to J-Mo. But you got to see something this week, Sam. And kind of to your point, I'm not going full Sam Flannel on this. But if you can't do it against the Chargers, what are we doing? Yeah. They're the worst passing defense in the league.
And if you guys are watching, Adam Beydoun is cooking in the chat, by the way. Just so you know, he's in lockstep when it comes to me, when it comes to J-Mo, except that I think he's already completely written him off, which is fine. But I think the difference between me and some people is if you have already, I can't really fault you for it. I can't fault you for wanting to see that he's talented and maybe want to see more moving forward and more targets. But if you want to kind of write him off as somebody who's already a bust, I can't hate that. I can't as of right now. But as to your point, Jeff, and I think if my guy Jared Goff steps up, I think it'll help Jameson Williams. This is a week. Line him up one-on-one once against Michael Davis and see what happens.
Oh, my God. That's what we're saying.
Yes.
Like, and I know you're not against that, but it's just like, I understand. Josh Reynolds has been very consistent. We're not saying stop going to Josh Reynolds or anything, but maybe just think about it honestly like this. On 3rd and 2, or maybe we'll do 2nd and 3. Instead of running David Montgomery when you're up by a touchdown, try a slant route to Jameson Williams. If that doesn't work, okay, turn around, hand the ball off. Like, there's ways that you can put implements in with Jameson Williams without destroying the game. If you take 4 targets, 5 targets, you're not throwing the game away from Jameson Williams, especially when you're going up against defense like this, where he has a chance to make a play because he's going up against a bad secondary. Like, everybody that's like, oh, if you feed J-Mo, it takes away touches from everybody else. Yeah, maybe like 2% of their touches. We're not asking you to do this the full season long. We're just asking you to try to get this guy implemented to see what he actually has, and this is a perfect situation to do it on.
Yeah, you can have, unless you really like Khalif, but you can have Reynolds, Amon-Ra, and Jameson. You can have them all out there.
You can have all of these guys eat. Josh Reynolds could still have 2 catches for 40 yards. Khalif Raymond could still have 3 catches for 20 yards. Like, everything is still possible. Just 5 targets for J-Mo, that's not too much to ask. Just stop making them all streaks.
And I want to just read some of these comments, too. People are talking about Jameson Williams as well. Sir James says, Goff had confidence issues coming in the first year. Now he was balling. Give J-Mo time. The real K. Collins says, Jared Goff's arm can't keep up with him. And that's the thing,
That's the reason. Stop throwing him streaks every fucking play.
Again, like, we can compromise here. If it's Goff's arm, why is every play he's getting the ball? Majority of the time, running downfield, and he'll drop them. But if that's the only instances where he's getting targets, it's not going to work. Like, and even the wheel route he ran last week, the last game before the bye week against the Raiders, a little bit weird, and you can blame that on J-Mo. But again, it's just how you get J-Mo the ball. Like, I've seen Khalif Raymond run these little drag routes, get the football, and take it and get yards after catch. Don't tell me Jameson Williams. You watch that man in Alabama. Yards after catch is his specialty. Like, allow him to cook. You could just get the ball to him in space. Let him cook. Or if you're going to do a run play with him,
just block the defensive end.
I was just going to say,
just make sure Max Crosby doesn't take Jameson Williams' fucking head off.
If you're going to do a little end around with J-Mo, can you block Max Crosby? Please?
It might help.
Please? So it doesn't kill J-Mo? Knock his helmet off? Jesus, man. Paul Thomas says, blaming Goff's arm is lazy AF. Yeah, I think that's... Goff, I think, has a good enough arm. I'm not going to go that far. But it's about how they get J-Mo the ball. We're all in agreement there. We kind of spent all time on offense. You want to just go to defense now? We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll talk more about the defense.
Absolutely.
How about that? All right.
Let's do it.
First, though, I got to tell you about Big Boy. Delicious, right? I mean, look at the new stuff they got, guys. Come on. Wintertime in Detroit's always better with comfort foods from a Big Boy. You get the breakfast. They got stuffed potato pancakes, the classic lumberjack, Santa Fe Garden. Also, the new apple pie hotcakes, which are also delicious. They're too good to miss. Top it all off with a new gingerbread shake for dessert. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests, for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Let me tell you about our friends over at Hamlin Pub, because, guys, is there any place you'd rather be than Hamlin Pub on game day, especially Michigan State? Well, you'd probably just want to drink when you're watching Michigan State. But regardless, you watch Lions games. But regardless, you go to Hamlin Pub, and it's the place. Trust me, they got 7 locations. You get to experience where everyone's a regular. And, of course, if you want, we'll see how it goes this year. I think we'll have more post games down in Rochester at Hamlin Pub. But you check out one of their 7 locations, and you go have a blast, man. Take some friends, have some of their wings. They're absolutely delicious. I've tried them myself. They are good, certified, and watch the games and enjoy them. Hamlin Pub, experience your new favorite pub for all things sports. Guys, we're going to call an audible. The Omaha special. Check. We're not doing the who needs to step up defensively. Scrap it. We're doing phones. Call in, and we'll take phone calls. Maybe we'll talk more about it as we're waiting for people to kind of fill up on the phone lines, and then we'll talk to them. If you guys have anything you want to talk about, Jameson Williams, the game this Sunday, who cares? Hamlin Pub, call in, and we could talk to you. But regardless, I do want to answer the question while we're waiting on people. Who needs to step up defensively? And to me, at least, and I don't know. And this is the thing too. When you say step up, Sam, I know it sounds like the person's been playing bad, so I don't want to get that. I don't want to get that confused. But I think the obvious one has got to be Aiden Hutchinson. I think that's got to be the obvious one. And in terms of step up, he needs to do what he's been doing, but get sacks, because that also is part of it. And I think Aiden will do just that this week. I do. But he's got to be the guy to me defensively that has to step up. Yeah. He's going to be the biggest X factor in this game. You cannot deny that.
Well, and honestly, I don't want to steal your thunder, but I'm kind of going to go. I'm going to take it in a little bit of a different direction as well. I am going to go with Aiden Hutchinson as well, because Aiden Hutchinson, I think that he has played well. I think a lot of the chatter surrounding him and his lack of sacks in the last 3 games is way overblown. But I think Aiden Hutchinson absolutely wrecks this game. I think he gets constant pressure on Justin Herbert. The only player on the Chargers offensive line who can maybe block him from time to time is Rashawn Slater. But as of right now, I think Aiden Hutchinson versus Rashawn Slater, I would favor Aiden on that one, because I already think he's a better edge rusher than Rashawn Slater is a tackle. And by the way, nobody else on that Chargers offensive line can block anything. So Aiden Hutchinson in this game, he gets constant pressure on Herbert. I do think he could get a couple of sacks and reinsert himself right back in the Defensive Player of the Year race. So yes, I think Aiden Hutchinson, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he has his most dominant game of the season this Sunday and kind of shuts people up a little bit.
JB, cue the Undertaker music.
Oh boy.
This man has risen from the grave. And he is here in the flesh. Is it who I think it is?
I think it is. Who do you think it is?
It's like at the stadium, everyone's looking at the tunnel. They're like, who's coming out? There's smoke. Who is it? Bring him through. Is this the Adam Baydoun?
Fuck you.
Oh my goodness.
Damn it, Adam. Dude, I miss you. How you feeling? See, everyone thinks I hate you. Could you clarify that?
I can confirm Jeff was at my house last weekend, and we were messing around sexually.
Okay, hold on. Okay, you take it to that. Jesus. Adam, tell me why Jamo's a bust. I already know how you feel about that.
It's not. Look, I think it's small talk to even do the bust thing. I don't even care. He just sucks. He just sucks, and I'd love to know how we're throwing this on Jared Goff. Jared Goff is 3rd in the NFL. Well, actually, I'm lying. He's tied for 2nd in the NFL this year in deep ball passing 20 yards or more. He has as many 20-yard throws as C.J. Stroud, who's second. Stafford is first. He has more than Kirk Cousins, Tua Tagovailoa, Jalen Hurts, Brock Purdy, Justin Herbert, you name it, Patrick Mahomes. He's got more than all of them. This is not a Jared Goff issue. Jameson Williams, for all the drops he does have, for all the routes he runs poorly, yeah, the guy is fast, but what are you guys saying that it's what's today, Friday? It's Friday in week 10, 11. The Lions are 6-2, and you guys are still talking about a guy who has 6 catches for 71 yards this year. Like, the wheel route he ran a few weeks ago that was, quote, thrown behind him. It wasn't thrown behind him at all. He ran upfield way too fucking early. The dude has zero concept and understanding of where the fuck he's supposed to be on the field and when. And that's why Ben Johnson doesn't have him on the field, and it's why Jared Goff doesn't go to the guy more often. It's not because they don't want to use their number 12 overall pick. It doesn't mean he's not fast and he can't be a good player. The guy's getting in his own way more often than not. How is Jameson Williams a talking point on your show November 10th? Dude, what the fuck? I thought we learned and taught each other a lot of shit. What are we doing here?
Adam, can I ask you a question? And be real with me.
Smart man.
Hold on. Do you think Jameson Williams is do you see talent? Just answer that. Do you see talent with Jameson? Or you just think he just sucks and everything that happened in Alabama just is fake news and he stinks?
If you asked me that question a year ago, I would say absolutely. There's a ton of talent there. But I'm not seeing the talent on the field. I'm not seeing anything. I'm seeing flashes of speed. Great. There's a lot of players that are fast. Is Quentin Johnston a bust?
So far.
Let me ask you that.
Yeah, but he at least, I mean, Jameson in the what? How many catches has he had in his
career? They've played the same amount of games at this point.
Well,
they've played the same amount of games at this point, and they're both equally disappointing.
Well, at least one of the guys has 7 catches and 2 touchdowns.
Oh my God, that's.
I'm just Adam. Is that false? He had 7 catches he has 7 catches in the league, 2 in for touchdowns.
Yes, that's great.
So. Again, is that fair though? Quentin Johnston, he could only imagine. Quentin Johnston would love if his first 7 catches in the NFL went for 2 touchdowns.
He also has more receptions and yards already.
Quentin Johnston sucks.
He does suck, but he's not.
We had this conversation. I told you Quentin Johnston shouldn't be a first-round pick. And oh my God, he's a big body wide receiver, TCU. Oh my God.
Yeah, Lions fans had a mock to the Lions. Oh my God, it was bullshit. Dude, it was so bad.
Drove me fucking crazy. Jameson has been a disappointment up until today. The fact that you're even saying, oh man, maybe he's going to step up. I don't want him to step up. I have David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Sam Laporta, who's literally one of the 5 best tight ends in football in his rookie year. Like, why the fuck do I care about Jameson Williams when the team is 6-2? I'm enjoying my Sundays. I'm stress-free. Like, why do I have to talk about the bad shit? Why? They're 6-2, top of their division. They have fucking everything in front of them. Their schedule is easy as shit. They should be the favorite against Los Angeles. Like, why are we talking about some guy that just didn't make it? Why?
Well, the point I'm making, Adam, is I don't think the Lions even need J-Mo. Honestly, I think it's better if we just pretend like the dude doesn't exist because they're going to win without him. I mean, it's not a big deal. But what I am saying,
he hasn't existed.
No,
so you don't have to imagine it. No, he hasn't existed.
Okay,
and they're fine.
The Bucs game,
and they would be better. And they would be better if he was like Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson level production. They would obviously be better, but he's not. He's not.
Lucas. I know you want to say something.
I can't hear the call.
Oh, okay.
I will say this though.
Fuck you,
Adam.
Lucas.
He said, "Fuck you, Lucas."
Fuck you, Adam. And my thing is, the only way that you're going to get a return for this investment, and I'm not saying he's going to be some home run 12th pick, but we can't act like we can just not attempt to find the chemistry with this guy. You can't just write him off at this point when you know that he's a talented player. We all know that. He's a lot more talented than half the NFL starting wide receivers out there. It's the chemistry and the confidence. If you fix the confidence, this guy is going to produce. So why are we just going to act like, you know what? His confidence isn't there. We're winning. I get it. We're winning. But we can't act like this guy doesn't take this Lions offense to another dimension. So if you can get that confidence going, even if it's like 3 or 4 consistent targets a game that aren't deep shots, you don't think that would help at all?
I don't think it would help at all because you look at the Kansas City Chiefs and they have Sky Moore. This perfect example of a first-round wide receiver, a ton of speed. They thought they were going to put him in Tyreek's place, Not that he would be Tyreek Hill, but he would be able to produce. We're in his second year now. The dude is still dropping easy fucking touchdown passes. Can't even get separation, get open. Runs the wrong route. It's the same shit.
Well,
like,
What did he say?
Sky Moore, hold on.
Sky Moore.
Oh, hold on. Sky Moore did not torch the best defense in college football. Come on, Adam.
Oh my God! But you know what, guys?
Was he not a first-round pick?
He was. Sky Moore is
comparing him to Jameson Williams at Alabama. Nobody can compare to Jameson Williams at Alabama because he was one of the best receivers in college football. But in the NFL, I could compare Braylon Edwards to fucking Jameson Williams in the NFL. Like, what are we doing here? How old is Braylon? Like 40 years old? He can come in the league and do the same shit Jame's doing. What the fuck?
What's he saying?
Braylon could do what Jamel's doing at his age.
Guys.
Yeah, he'd get. You know what? Braylon could probably get 2 catches for 10 yards, 2 catches for 14 yards. He could. But
look, I don't get the. I don't know. Like, for me, if I was talking right now, I wouldn't be focusing on JMO. Like, I got a 6-2 football team. They have a dynamic backfield that you really, really can't predict what they're going to do. Their offense is so well written, so well scripted. Josh Reynolds, really reliable. Amon Ross, tough as nails, always shows up every single week. Jared Goff's decision making has been really good. Jahmyr Gibbs finally, taking that next step for what you expected out of him at the 12th overall spot. And then you have Sam Laporta emerging as one of the best tight ends in football. I mean, to me, James, I don't give a fuck about James.
And that's fair.
If he goes over the next 5 games, he gets, 30 catches for 560 yards and 3 touchdowns. Great. Woo! I'll get my fucking pom-poms out and I'll be so fucking happy. Not going to happen, though. That's the problem. But we're going to hope it happens, so I have to shut the fuck up for 4 more weeks and just wait, because I have to just keep fucking waiting with every fucking rookie that the team misses on. Jeff Okuda's going to be so fucking good, man. You just wait and see. He's going to go to Atlanta. He's going to be so good.
Well, that's fair. The Jeff Okuda stuff, yeah, that is, and that's true, by the way. I back you up on that. They thought he would be great in Atlanta. But Adam, we see it a little differently. I think I just have still a faith in the talent he possesses. Like, Sky Moore was great. Western Michigan, that's cute. But Jameson, we've seen him do it on the highest. Like, I give C.J. Stroud.
Give you a perfect example.
But I'll get
a perfect example.
What?
Okay, you're holding on to his talent. Yes, fair. Which I'm okay
because
with,
of what I've seen. Like, C.J. torched Georgia. I talked to Lucas about it. Like, so you could see it, what he did to Georgia. And you see what he's doing in the NFL. I believe that's true. If you could do that against Georgia, Adam, come on. Come on. He's not Jerry Rice, but come on. He has talent.
Let's say I agree with you on this. Which I don't. But let's say I do, okay? Let's live in that world right now. Okay? You take somebody that's talented, okay? That alone is maybe good enough to get you through high school and definitely good enough to get you through college. Like, we've seen talented players play in the NFL all the time.
Of course.
And they're either just meh, or they're good, or some are great. Like, Jameson Williams, the reason why he was the number 1 wide receiver prospect was because he broke out in that 1 year at Alabama. The problem is he had issues staying on the field, whether it was for injury reasons or transferring or whatever the hell it was in college. He really only had 1 super year production. He misses his first year in the NFL, comes back at the end of the first year. There's nothing much there, but you're not too concerned. You're like, okay, let's see what happens in year 2. Misses the first 4 games because of a stupid suspension. And now he has 6 catches for 71 yards on a 6-2 football team that has one of the best offenses in football in terms of yards per game.
Right.
I'm trying to find where the talent actually is measurable. And all it is I'm looking back to 3 years ago at Alabama instead of what he's done in the NFL. And he broke out on busted coverage against Minnesota his rookie year. Woo! He caught a touchdown pass this year, which was really good, by the way.
He also caught a touchdown pass that was called back against Green Bay to end the year. Like, we've seen it multiple times. We've seen it in the NFL.
Yeah, but the problem is a couple times in 10, 12, 14 games isn't enough. Like, what you're saying a couple times, I've seen players do in 1 game. Like Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, but give me those guys. But those guys are getting a lot of targets at him. But to your point, he misses a whole year. Amon-Ra, Josh Reynolds, these guys have kind of already filled the void. They don't really need J-Mo anymore. Like, Chris Olave walked onto the scene and got, 80, 100 targets immediately? I mean, those guys get the benefit of that. I know,
Yeah,
and they've been better.
Why?
And they've been better, but
Ask yourself
7 catches,
why
2
he's not getting
touchdowns.
cards.
7 catches, 2
Ask yourself
touchdowns.
why he's not getting cards.
Because other
Is it-
guys
is
are
it
because
because-
Goff.
is it-
I believe Goff is a guy that he has to trust you, and he's trust clearly Reynolds,
Okay, what
St.
does
Brown,
trust mean?
Laporta.
What does trust mean for a
when
quarterback?
I throw you the football, I know you're going to catch it. I know you're going to run the right routes. I know like all the other things. He knows he
I
trusts
know-
you're going to be where you're supposed to
finish
be.
Finish it. Thank you. As a quarterback, when we call a play, you better be where the fuck I expect you to be, because I have about 2.5 to 3 seconds to get the ball up. Like, that's the problem with Jameson. It's not that he's not talented. It's that he's not up to speed yet with where he needs to be and what the coaches want him to do and where they want him to be on the field. That's the problem. And if you want to say, oh, well, that's not fair and you have to give him more targets, be my guest. Give him more targets. But it's not working, and it's clearly not working, and why would I care if it works when they can win without him?
And that's fair. That's 100% fair. Thank you for calling, Adam. I miss you, man. You're the GOAT.
Fuck you, man.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to talk to Flannel.
I know, but like we just argued for. This is the problem. Me and you were in a
Well,
room.
I want to talk to Flannel.
All right,
I want
Flannel,
to talk to
feed his
Flannel. 2 minutes for Flannel.
Feed his ego about Jay.
Yes.
Flannel, did you fucking help Connor Stallions buy road game tickets? I want to know.
I did not.
Are you sure?
I am positive.
If I
did
hire
not.
a private investigator, will I find out you to be lying?
Would Ryan Day have garnered that private investigator? No. I certainly did not. Just win the natty, baby.
Yeah,
That's all I care about.
he's HIV positive. He did not.
Jesus, that got morbid real fast. Call me Magic Johnson. What?
What? There you go. He was on the stand today, Adam, and the people are trying to come after this man because if you missed the show yesterday, you must have missed yesterday. He was on one. It was funny as hell, actually.
Well, I'm not. I don't want to be. I don't want to sound like a dick. This is the first time I've tuned in about 2.5 months. So.
Well, you're the GOAT. I know you're.
I love you.
Tell your son LeBron James is the GOAT for me. Can you do that?
I would love to, but then I don't want to teach my kid that lying's okay.
Don't do that. Please don't do that, Adam.
Love you, Adam. Appreciate you.
Love you guys.
All right, there you go.
Thank you, Adam.
Man, he really is the best. We should just go to break. You want to just take more callers?
Yeah, I think we got like what, 2 or 3 more.
We still got like 3 more callers.
Yeah, let's take callers, man. Sorry for the wait there, but hey, things happen. Let's go to break. We come back. We'll get to the rest of the callers, and anything you guys want to speak about, we'll speak about it. But first, we got to hear about our friends from Swiss Insurance.
Absolutely. Do you have football on the brain? Of course you do. Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year it has been awesome. Fall is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Market Swiss Insurance today at swissins.com or call 248-800-4177. Again, that is 248-800-4177. Swiss Insurance.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
At work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions, featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com. Glorious!
Just in time for football, Glorious Cannabis is dropping a brand new ice water bubble hash infused pre-roll called Honolulu Blue. Smells so good, it's like the whiff of the first playoff win in 31 years. It's a gassy, aggressive strain named in honor of our Detroit football team. If you haven't had one of these ice water pre-rolls, you are definitely missing out. It is so smooth. Find them at a Dispo dispensary near you, and don't forget to check them out online today at gloriouscanna.com. Sports.com.
We're back. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. We got some more callers to get to. JB, send them through, and give me the name too, so I don't butcher this.
No problem. I got you right here. I will send you guys Chef because he's been on hold for a minute.
Oh,
so
I know Chef. Hey, Chef's cooking something. Welcome to the show, Chef. What do you want to discuss?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, man. First and foremost, I hate Adam, bro. Like, I just want to let y'all know that I hate Adam. Adam has never played sports a day in his life, okay? And I think Sam is in the same boat. People that have never played sports a day in their damn lives. And we're sitting up here talking about how this guy sucks and JMO sucks. I've been telling y'all, JMO is like a shooter. You got to let him see a couple go in, right? Let him see a couple go in. Get him involved in the game plan. There's not a shooter that's going to shoot shots, 2 shots in the beginning of the game, and then wait until the fourth quarter and then shoot another shot or not get any other shots. He's not being involved in the game. Therefore, he's not being able to get that on-field trust with Jared Goff. He's not being able to get that on-field trust with Ben Johnson because we're not using him. We're not letting him see the ball. That rhythm and things of that nature is for people who are athletes and people who have played the game of football, at least to the high school level.
Mm-hmm.
Sam and Edham probably got cut from their little league teams and never pursued sports ever again in their lives. And this is what we're hearing from them in their takes. So please understand sports. Understand how the mental psyche gets into the situation. Understand how people should be used. Understand that usage is a thing. Understand that rhythm is a thing. And stop talking about how people suck and how people are busts. Play a damn sport, and then you can talk. Other than that, that's all I got. I'm going to drop the mic and let somebody else talk.
Oh, appreciate you calling, Chef. We'll let Sam respond to that one.
Well, here's the thing. Usually when you drop
He's
the mic...
standing on business.
Usually when you drop the mic, you have actually had said something intelligent and good, and that was a whole lot of hogwash. And you know what? I get what you're trying to say. And
I'm still on the line. You don't get what I'm trying to say because you don't have the experience. You don't get what I'm trying to say because you don't have the experience. You sit up there and you regurgitate a bunch of stats, but you've never been in the trenches. You've never been on the field. So if you want to talk about how someone sucks, then go actually catch a freaking football. Take one from the judge machine. Have you ever seen a judge machine in real life? You probably couldn't catch one your damn self. So you really don't have the ability to sit up here and talk about Jameson Williams. Jameson has had issues with his injury, and then he had a dumbass suspension that even the league was like, yo, that was dumb, and we shouldn't have suspended him for however many games that we gave him, so let's give him something lesser, right? And then we have people like you and Edham in the freaking media who are all on this dude's back and wanting him to be a bust and hoping that he's a bust and not letting him feel comfortable in the city where the real fans are helping him feel comfortable in the city. But you talking heads, you guys have the platforms, and you guys are the ones who get in his head, or he's the one that they've got to hear this and they've got to hear that in social media and all this other stuff. Get off the man's back and let him freaking cook, bro. Do you want him to be a bust? Because that's what you sound like. Are you a fan of the team, or do you want that man to be a bust?
I want him to be good. The reality of the situation, though, is he has been a bust so far. I'm not saying his story is already written or anything like that. The reality is when you play well, I cheer. When you don't, I boo. I've never said anything about Amon-Ra St. Brown. I've never said anything about Sam Laporta. I've never said anything about Josh Reynolds because they have actually produced. You're not just bestowed targets. You're not just bestowed getting into a rhythm just because you wake up in the morning and you're on the Detroit Lions. Jameson Williams for his entire career.
What were you saying about Jerry Rice?
What was that?
Everybody is not instant oatmeal, Sam. Everybody is not instant oatmeal. You don't just pour in the add milk, add water or whatever and put it in the microwave and everybody's ready to go at the same time. Some people need time. And you can see the talent. For dumbasses like Adam and sitting, I don't see any talent. Come on, bro. Like, stop being married to your takes. You sound like an idiot. Like, seriously, I don't see any talent on the field. How the hell do you not see any talent on the field?
Well, Chef,
you're going to sit up here and watch.
No, I was just going to say, Chef, we got to get to some other people, but I do appreciate you calling because, again, they're very passionate. I get what you're saying. We'll address it, but we got to get through to some other calls, though. But I appreciate you, Chef. You got to call back more often, man.
All right, no problem.
I appreciate you. And Sam, you could rebuttal to that. I know you didn't really get a chance to talk back. But before we go, though, and by the way, love Chef. And he's a very valid member of Woodward Sports. He tunes into the shows. But the one thing I do not agree with, and we've played sports, like we know what it takes, but at the same time, none of us have played at a professional level at this network besides two people, Darren McCarty and Braylon Edwards. So I don't think just because you haven't played at a certain level doesn't make you qualified to talk sports.
Sure.
Like, I'll stick up for you, Sam, because even though you didn't play college anything, you still know sports. Maybe not to the level of guys who have played in the NFL, but I don't think that part was fair to come at you because you didn't play sports. There's a lot of guys that are in this business that are respected that have not played professional sports, but you can continue and rebuttal there.
Well, the reality is, and I'm not even trying to be mean, it's just we're calling off of what we see. Are we just supposed to, coddle this man forever? I think a lot of people, that's what you guys want. You are mad because I'm being mean to Jamison Williams, and Jamison Williams might hear that and want to be ran out of Detroit. The reality of the situation is right now, I have a leg to stand on that I'm disappointed in him. I have a leg to stand on to say that his career has been an absolute failure up to this point. He has 112 receiving yards in his entire career. In the vast majority of games he has played in the NFL, his final stat line has been 0 catches for 0 yards. I already said that yesterday. He has impacted a couple of games positively, and that's all well and good. That Buccaneers catch, that was amazing. I got up and cheered, and I praised him the very next day. But at some point, you have to actually do something. And with this Lions offense being as good as it already is, kind of piggybacking off of what Adam said earlier, we don't need him at this point. Why are you going to, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, even Khalif Raymond, maybe Donovan Peoples-Jones. There's only one ball.
Yeah, and by the way, in what Chef was saying, I do agree with, like the instant oatmeal thing, that was a bar. Like, he is right with that angle because a lot of people don't really understand certain aspects of what Jameson actually is going through, number one, but having to implement it into an offense where there's guys around him that just have rapport. They've had a year to establish rapport, years for some to establish rapport with Goff, and people just expect, well, you come out and you produce, and if you don't, you stink. And that I don't agree with because I know what my eyeballs have seen with J-Mo. I know he's talented, and maybe I'm on an island. I mean, Chef agrees with me there, but it's to me, it's not a question of talent. I know J-Mo's talented, Sam. That's how I feel, and I'll die on that hill. I know he's talented. I mean, he's 7 catches for 2 touchdowns. So, clearly, the dude's got potential, and it's not about getting catches for me. Yeah, he has to catch the football. I agree there, but it's how he's getting targets. It's how he's getting involved. That matters to me as well. So I get what Chef's saying, and I'm with them on the J-Mo stuff. I am.
No, I just and also he lost me at the beginning, and I know he wasn't trying to do this. He's a valuable member of our chat. Just the gatekeeping drives me so insane. So Chef, do you want you know what, Chef? We might just give you your wish. The morning show is the Braylon Edwards show. Big D Energy is the Braylon Edwards show. It'll just be Edwards and not Ermanni. Edwards
to be
with
fair,
Maz is Braylon Edwards. Heavyweights is.
I left out Lindsey Hunter. He did play too.
No, but
so I missed him. Don't beat my ass, Lindsey.
I mean, he's the only one in here that's caught a football at the NFL level. Should the heavyweights also be their names should be changed, and it should be the Braylon Edwards show. And Woodward Nights. Braylon Edwards is a very, very hardworking man. The morning show up until Woodward Nights will be the Braylon Edwards only show. Is that what you want, Chef? Come on.
No,
come on.
And by the way, we got any more people on the line?
Oh yeah,
I'm sorry. I've been making people hold, but send them through. We'll have another conversation. Who do we got?
All right, it's our boy El Gato.
El Gato, man, the GOAT. El Gato, what do you got for us?
Oh God.
Yeah, what do you got for us, El Gato?
Yeah, what up, Jeff?
What's going on?
Yeah, I like y'all guys, but Sam talks too much.
What do you have an issue with what he said? Talk to me. What's wrong?
Nah, just all the stats, bro, and hating on Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace is the greatest defensive Piston of all time.
That might be true.
No, I think it is true. Him or D. Rodman. I mean,
I'd say, but you know what?
But I think the Lions are gonna smash the Chargers, bro. As long as the O-line holds up, the Lions are gonna smash the Chargers.
And I'm with you. Why specifically though? What do you think this game will be dictated? What has to happen? You think for that to happen?
I mean, as long as Sewell keeps Joey Bosa in line,
yeah,
then everything's going to be good because they don't have Josh Palmer. They only have Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler, and Austin Eckler sucks as a running back.
Yeah, that's actually he is right. No, I'm with you, Elgato. What's your score prediction? What do you got?
I'd say 27-14. Lions.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Hey, appreciate you, Elgato. I like that. I'm with you, by the way. I think this game could get ugly quickly. I don't know what the Lions are favorited by, but they should be by a touchdown.
Jared Goff and Amon St. Brown are going back home to California. They're going to ball out.
Yeah, that's SoFi. That's where Jared Goff played. And again, he's familiar with that stadium. Appreciate you, Elgato. You got to call back, man, more often as soon as we get these phone lines more consistent.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you. JB, send another one through. We got a couple minutes before break. We'll get to one more caller.
I will send you Devin.
Devin, welcome to the Morning Woodward Show, man. What do you want to discuss?
Whoa. Big D takeover. Hang on. We love you guys. Lucas Quat, my dog.
He said Lucas Quat.
My redheaded stepson. I'm sorry, Flannel. You the redheaded stepson in Woodward stories. I just have to give it to you. Hollywood, love you.
Appreciate you, man.
Fucking stop putting bleacher in your damn teeth. It's bright as fuck every time you fucking point the camera towards you. God. But no, all seriousness, and without a doubt, J-Mo, I don't consider him a bust, but I consider him a fucking Home Depot project, and I hate Home Depot projects because you have to build them from the ground up. You have to freaking run every damn route, make sure that they're fucking focused every time to even get a pass off, and then you got to go off of either trusting him or trusting Goff's arm that's either 50-50 going down the damn fucking 50-yard line of getting to him. And it gives me an aneurysm every time I watch it because it's either you're going to hear the good cheers or the bad cheers the next damn day from Flannel, and you know damn well the moment the damn ball drops, you're going to hear that shit from fucking Flannel. And God, I love hearing you guys every damn morning. I listen to every fucking show except for Ermanni at work. God, I'm tired of Michigan. But, God, fuck, we can't lose J-Mo. Like, the bottom fucking line, like, we can't lose J-Mo. Because, like, we'll be fucked if we lose J-Mo to anybody else, and they make him work in the damn system, and we're stuck here looking fucking stupid when he going off for fucking 150 yards somewhere else, and he's like, oh, well, he didn't do that with the Detroit Lions. Oh, just like the Swift. He didn't do that with the Detroit Lions. He didn't do dog shit. And then all of a sudden he becomes this fucking superstar. Maybe it's our fucking conditioning that's not getting to him. Maybe it's just a fucking mental game. I don't get it. But, like, God fucking damn it. I don't want to be smoking on the JMO pack when Game 16 comes. And we're talking about what the trade value is. Because, Jesus fucking Christ, I have to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and hear Sam talk about this shit and have a damn aneurysm on the show again. I'm a fucking loser. Love you guys. That's all I got to fucking say.
Hey, Devin, John Miller in the chat says Devin is right. Dolphins will make that man look like Jerry Rice. He's kind of speaking facts, too.
Okay. I know that there's a little bit of tongue-in-cheekness to this, but do you guys not know who Jerry Rice is? Do you not know that he has every record in the wide receiver book by a mile?
Okay, we get
Jerry Rice was better than you guys think he is.
They're being sarcastic.
Yeah,
they're
sarcastic.
just taking it out on a limb.
It's Jerry Rice, though. Nobody's Jerry Rice.
He's an extreme of extreme.
Yeah, it is. But we'll go to break. Devin, you're the man. You're the GOAT, dude. Devin, you're funny as hell.
And he said some good things.
Hey, look, I'm always listening. I'll call you on the heavyweight. Look at my fucking episode, bro. Let's go.
Let's go, Devin. You're the man. Appreciate you. We got to get Devin back on the line, dude. That's legendary. A lot of fun today with the phone call. Sorry for anyone who's waiting. We gotta move on here. We'll get to more phone calls. Maybe we can do Monday reaction to the game. Trust me, guys, we'll be getting to more phones as time goes on. But yeah, that is a lot of fun, dude. That was a lot of fun. Great callers today, and you guys made the show.
We love the people.
Love the people. All right, let's go to break. When we come back, we'll get into a little bit more about just around the NFL. I mean, we got to do like a little. Hey, I mean, it might be too late for that. Maybe just scrap the NFL stuff. We'll just wait till what's trending. Maybe we'll give our score predictions, and then we'll get to what's trending for the game itself. But first, we got to hear about our friends from Planet Fitness. Let me tell you about them. Home of the judging-free zone, where anybody, and I mean anybody except Sam Flannel today, he was getting judged, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that's got tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You'll get all this for just $10 a month. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by, and more than 50 in Metro Detroit, thousands more throughout the world. Fitness is essential.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Come hang with the Woodward Sports crew all throughout football season on Saturdays and Sundays to join our college football and Detroit Lions live watch parties.
Inside the 5, caught, end zone, touchdown Detroit Lions!
With money on the line, featuring different special guests and surprises. Start times will vary depending on the game. Only on our Woodward Sports YouTube channel.
Join Woodward Sports and Long Drink live every home game for the official Lions VIP tailgate party. It's at Eastern Market in shed number 5, and it is always a bash starting at 9:30 a.m. until game time. The official Lions tailgate is back and better than ever. How would you like to pregame it with Woodward Sports and be treated like a VIP? Food, beverages, and entertainment all included. Get your tickets online today at bullseyeeventgroup.com or win some from Woodward Sports today. Just subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on IG, and direct message Lions VIP.
Wow, that was a lot of fun, man. Shout out. I mean, Adam, you had Chef, Devin. You guys made the segment there. Elgato as well. Yes, Elgato was great. Yeah. You guys were all great. I mean, that was we batted perfect on that phone segment. So shout out to you guys, man. It was a lot of fun.
Holding it down
JB holding it down to the full lines, and also K Boogie. I know you talked about calling in. We'll get you. We got to put him on a whole VIP list for the next time we do phones. We got to get him in front because he's the one that wanted the smoke with Sam yesterday. And unfortunately, we didn't get to him. So, K-Boogie, I got you.
I probably was a little bit harsh in my rebuttal. But,
Look at you, Sam.
My bad.
Well, you better hope J-Mo doesn't score a touchdown on Sunday.
By the way.
Oh, yeah. No, if he does, the entire city of Detroit, the entire Morning Woodward show is going to come at my head. But you know what? It's all well and good.
Oh, if he scores, you better be there Monday. And not just scores, but I'm talking if he has like one catch for 7 yards and a TD, okay. But I'm talking if he has a big game on Sunday, we're going to talk about it.
Just remember who has perfect attendance during NFL season. That would be me. I'm not saying you guys are like you. We're all very, very available, but I've been here every single day. I don't back down. I got it.
Yeah, there you
Taking
go.
a shot, Flannel?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I was saying, what does that have to do with anything, Sam? Huh?
Just say that I don't miss days.
He's giving himself flowers. It's okay. He deserves it. He does show up every day. Consistency. Flannel's here before anybody else.
People about to make him miss days if they keep calling in like that. Just send that man home. But regardless, let's get into score prediction. Sam, what do you got for us? How do you see the game playing out? And give me a score prediction.
I see this one, honestly, as a more offensive style game. God, this is so tough. I am going to go Lions 28, Chargers 27. I think it's going to be a very, very evenly matched game. I think the difference with the Lions and why they are going to win is I do think Penei Sewell and Taylor Decker will at least be able to somewhat neutralize Khalil Mack and Thule and Joe and Joey Bosa. I think they're going to wreak some havoc on the game, but not as much as they did against the Jets, obviously, because we have diametrically better tackles than the Jets. Diametrically. And I honestly think against this poor pass defense, Jared Goff's going to pretty much get anything he wants. But I also think Justin Herbert is going to have a hell of a game as well. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think the Chargers are desperate, but at the end of the day, the Lions are just a better team, and what they do well offensively, passing the ball. I mean, they do other things well as well, but just that Chargers pass defense is going to be leaky, and I expect it wouldn't shock me at all if Amon-Ra St. Brown sets his season high in receiving yards. Give me Lions 28, Chargers 27.
1 point?
1 point.
Oh, okay. At least it's a W.
Did I?
Unlike Neil Rule.
I don't even know if I used diametrically
correctly.
Diametrically,
that you I had to Google that one.
It sounds like
it sounded like you did it. I mean, it says with reference to opposition completely directly. So I think you nailed that one. Wow, he went in his bag there with the diametrically. But I will say this: my score prediction. I'm going to go 31-21 Lions. I think the Chargers are going to score 20+. I think so. We'll see. Defense could be much better. But I think the Lions offense, with a full complement of weapons, complement of your offensive line, fully back healthy, I think the Lions are going to kind of dictate this thing offensively, and they're going to hit 30, I think, at least. So 31-21 to me, like I've been talking about all week, this game will be dictated up front in the trenches. Protecting Jared, getting after Herbert. Very simple. If the Lions can do both those things, I think this game could get out of hand pretty quickly, and some of those points could be scored late in the ball game. Give me 31-21 Lions.
Yeah, we got the same point differential. I got 34-24 Lions. I think the Lions offensively, to Flannel's point, Jared Goff, I think he's going to be able to do whatever he wants. David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, they're going to be able to do whatever they want. It just comes down to creating a couple turnovers. My defensive player, I know we didn't talk about it, that needs to step up, Kirby Joseph. I think Kirby Joseph gets an interception. A lot of this Chargers offense is check down to Eckler, check down to Everett, deep shot to Keenan Allen. They don't have Josh Palmer anymore to, at least this game, to take a deep shot to, so maybe Quentin Johnston. But the Chargers are going to be taking shots. You force a turnover to from that offense, I think it's wrap, and the Lions offense is just going to have their way. So 34-24 Lions.
Let me, you know what? I did this last week, or, when they played the Raiders. I want to get everyone's score predictions here. So, Sam, what's your score?
28-27 Lions.
Okay, 28-27. What's yours, Lucas?
34-24 Lions.
All right, JB, what do you got?
I think mine is probably the lowest out of all of you guys today. I'm taking the Lions 23-10.
10?
Yeah, 23-10.
Okay.
I do believe...
Start the Lions defensive fantasy.
I know, right?
That's pretty good.
23-10. I do believe with Justin Herbert's inconsistency, the Chargers offense is going to stall out here and there. And as Lucas said, if you can get some turnovers from that offense, it's going to be very big and very huge. I do think Bosa will affect the game a lot.
You don't have the power to clip anything.
Oh my!
Yeah, JB's putting you in your spot.
JB doesn't clip himself.
JB's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
I'm not clipping myself. Come on now.
All right, continue. Sorry, JB.
No, you're fine. Like I said, I think the Lions defense will definitely step up big in this game as well too, getting pressures. Aiden's definitely going to step up as well too, force those inconsistencies from Justin Herbert, and I think the Lions offense will, be top dog in this one. So I am taking the Lions 23-10.
You know what's crazy though, JB, too? Like the fact that he says that, I'm not even like shocked. Like that's where the defense is kind of at this year. Like I could see that. Last year I'd be like, dude, you're crazy if you're picking the Chargers with Justin Herbert to score 10. I could see it happening. I can. Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll get to what's trending with Lucas. Then we'll get to mailbag. But first, Sam, could you tell us about, how do you take care of your cat and your dog, Jake and Milo?
Oh, Premier Pet is, of course, where I go. When it comes to your pet, don't settle. I don't settle when it comes to my golden retriever, Jake, and my orange cat, Milo. Give your pet the best like I give my pet the best. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food, lowest prices, and curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. Visit their website at premierpetsupply.com.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equip Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
How would you like to win a $100K Vegas getaway? Take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Centron Energy Drink It and Live It sweepstakes. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter for your chance to win. Register at drinkcentron.com/Vegas and buy Centron at your local Meijer store. Centron, the healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself. Once again, that website, drinkcentron.com/Vegas.
Does that Citron ad, does that come with hookers or no?
Ooh. No, I think you have to purchase those on your own.
Okay. Just asking for a friend.
Brings them on the plane.
Yeah. I'll say, JB, I'm just asking for you, in case you want to take the trip.
If you want to just show up at the airport, got no problem taking to Vegas, too.
Okay. You know what time it is. 9:40. Check your watches. Check the clock, man. It's What's Trending with Lucas. Lucas, what do you got for us?
Boys, I got a doozy. And this one, it's kind of, I wouldn't say too extreme, but it's definitely extreme. Lane Kiffin, he had a player that was dealing with a mental health crisis, quote unquote, and he didn't show up or text him for weeks. And then when they stepped in the office, the player recorded it, and this is the conversation that was had. And I just want to get your opinion. Is Lane Kiffin out of line on this, or is he spot on?
I'm here when you kept getting messages the head coach wants to talk to you, and you saying I'm not ready to talk to him.
I wasn't.
Well, what world do you live in?
I don't see why you gotta be disrespectful, honestly.
Get out of here. Go. You're off the team. You're done. See ya.
Because I'm.
See ya. Go. And guess what? We can kick you off the team. So go read your rights about mental health. We can kick you off the team for not showing up. When the head coach has to meet with you and you don't show up for weeks, okay, we can remove you from the team. It's called being the It's called hiding behind and not showing up to work.
So Lane definitely told him how it is, and if I'm being honest, fellas, I know it was a little extreme. I know mental health is a huge thing in 2023, and people struggle with it, but no, I don't think he's far off.
No,
I really don't think.
No,
I think the player is being a little soft.
He ain't far off at all. And this is the problem with some of these Gen Z people. Listen, I'm a part of it. I'll admit it. I'll take responsibility for it. Why the hell are you recording that conversation? Like that's soft.
And Kiffin's facing a $40 million lawsuit now because of that.
That is soft. You
me?
record. That's a conversation between you and your head coach, just like any other workplace. If I don't show up for 2 weeks, and listen, mental health, there is a serious part of that. So I'm not saying I'm not going to completely disregard that, but let's be real here for a second. If I don't show up for 2 weeks, and Chad's calling me and saying, "Hey, I would like to meet with you," and I say, "I'm not ready," and he fires me, am I going to be pissed? No. You can't go MIA for 2 weeks and not respond to any of the times the coach has tried to reach out to you. Like, that's just irresponsible, and that's soft. That is soft, that you record the conversation with Lane. Lane's 100% in the right. I don't even think he's not far off. He's 100% right. Mm-hmm. And whoever that dude is, see ya. Yeah. That dude ain't built for this league. I'm clearly in the SEC. Lane Kiffin, you are correct.
DeSanto Rollins has 3 tackles in 2 seasons at Ole Miss. I'm just saying.
What? Reread it?
DeSanto Rollins, homeboy who recorded that, has 3 tackles in 2 seasons at Ole Miss.
Who the fuck is that guy?
And here's the thing. You're allowed to have, like, playing football in the SEC, I'm sure there's a lot that goes into it. I obviously wouldn't know, as Chef had made it very, very intimately clear that I don't play any football. I never really did. But that's the thing. Playing football in the SEC, especially if you're struggling to get playing time, which this guy clearly has, adjusting to a college life, that's going to be rough on you. And I'm not unsympathetic to that. It's just, Jeff, you hit it on the head. He went into Lane Kiffin's office and recorded it.
That's pathetic.
These are private conversations between coach and player, and Lane Kiffin is not out of line even in the slightest. It's just, it bothers me that some of these athletes just think that they can do whatever they want. I'm going to take a mental health break, come back, and Lane Kiffin is supposed to act like nothing has ever happened. But at the same time, if like Quidshaw and Jenkins had done that, I'm sure Lane Kiffin would be like, yeah, come back. But DeSanto Rollins hasn't really done anything in his whole Ole Miss career. I already don't like the guy just because he recorded that just for a gotcha moment. That's the only reason that it was. I think Booner mentioned that in the chat. Don't like this kid.
And by the way, like Broder says, what do stats have to do with his mental health? Yeah, and that's fair.
Plano goes instantly to his PFF grade.
I know. Well, because I believe two things can be true. One, mental health should be taken seriously. But number two, you got to have the balls to do what you're responsible for. You're responsible. You're a part of Ole Miss. You're a part of a program. You're part of a team. If your boss, even in a workplace environment, if your boss reaches out to you, despite what you're going through, and says, hey, I'd like to meet with you, and you say, well, no, I'm not ready, and now 2 weeks have passed and you're still not ready, you're off the team. You're fired.
Not to mention,
it's very simple. Like, this is not a hard concept to understand. Like, hey, mental health is serious, but go deal with that not on the team. That's how I feel.
And I'd imagine dudes on scholarship. So think about how much, like, obviously NCAA teams, especially Power 5 schools, are very limited on the scholarships they can give out. If you're not showing up for practice, you're probably not showing up for school, you're probably not doing good in school. So now that scholarship that they're doing is wasting money. And there's about 10,000 other players they could give a scholarship to right now in the SEC that would much rather do something with it than show up to practice. So I don't think Lane Kiffin's far off.
Well, and the thing is, like, I'm making an assumption, obviously, that this defensive tackle, DeSanto Rollins, I didn't know who he was. I just saw his name on the graphic. That maybe he didn't communicate it to Lane Kiffin effectively. And I honestly think that if he would have done that, and I'm not saying that he didn't, there is a much better chance that you are going to get what you want if you actually are communicative, if you maybe even give daily or weekly updates on your condition. I think, but if you just ghost and come back, you can't get whatever you want in your life and just be like, oh, mental health.
Well, hold on. Now I want to bring this up. Broder says, we don't know how Lane Kiffin treated him before this or the conversations they've had prior. If they were like the one recorded, would you like to talk to Kiffin if he called you? Well, Broder, we also don't know how this player responded to Lane Kiffin. There's both sides, right? And you're right. We don't know what Lane Kiffin was doing. We don't know what this player was doing. Like, we don't know all the information, but based on just the situation at hand, I'm with Kiffin. Like, again, could he have handled it better? Sure. I mean, cool. But the overall concept, you don't show up for work for 2 weeks and you ignore your boss, there's consequences to that. Like, despite whatever he's going through, which, again, hope he gets through that, of course. But it doesn't absolve you. I can't just not show up for 2 weeks and be like, hey, I'm going to handle this on my time. No, life moves on without you. Like, you learn that quickly. But, JB, you have something to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up the fact that he went into this meeting with the intent to record. That means in your head you knew something was going to happen. It's going to happen. Something was going to be said that could get your head coach canceled or fired, even worse. And I want to tread lightly on the whole mental health thing because it is a serious issue, and we fully don't know what this player or anyone else is going through in their own personal life or in their head right now. So it is something serious, but at the same time, I don't think Lane Kiffin is out of line just because the simple fact that Ole Miss and this football program, when you sign up for it, hey, guess what? This is now a business. You're in a business agreement with me. And if you don't show up to work, as you said, then guess what? You're fired. You're gone. You will not be here anymore, which is fair. You can't say it's not fair, but I know adjusting to college life can be very difficult and uneasy. I just wish that this player would have gone about it a better way and had a little bit more communication with his head coach and the rest of the football staff and the rest of the players on that team as well, too, to where it didn't have to get to this point.
Yeah, JB, I voice reason once again. Like, I agree with you 100%. And again, like, I'm not, like you said before, JB, I'm not going to completely dissolve mental health. We're not doing that. But just
this is the shit that makes people make fun of mental health, especially with guys and athletes and stuff like that. Like, if you have a problem, then deal with it like responsibly and how you think it would actually make you feel better. You can't tell me that this situation, like, he went into this situation wanting a bag out of it. Something went wrong. So he could be, he's discriminating. Like, that's what just 2023 in America, that's what the culture is. So if you think that $40 million is going to make your problems go away, that's fine. But there's going to be a time in life when you're just sitting by yourself, you have whatever you want if you were to go and get this bag, and you're still going to be the same person with the same issues. So it just doesn't make sense. And I think this is why, like, people just laugh at mental health stuff a lot of the times nowadays.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It's interesting. I saw that on Twitter yesterday, and I know people were kind of both sides of it. And we don't know the situation, but, dude, I'm just thinking of what I think is right and wrong, which I would never not show up for work for 2 weeks, even when I'm dealing with something. If I'm dealing with something, you meet with the coach and be like, listen, We can have this. We can have a conversation. We can have dialogue. This is what I'm dealing with. Maybe I need to just step away from the team completely if it's that bad. I just won't play. Like, I got a team I'm letting down. Go get something, like you said, if he's on scholarship especially.
Yeah.
You know, there's other things he's going through. But regardless, let's go to break. We'll get to mailbag. Get your questions ready. We'll try to get to as many as we can. I know we always go over, man. We're ruthless with this stuff. But first, we got to hear from our friends over at Feldman Chevrolet. Let me tell you about them. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer. They got 18 locations. There's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest to you. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, first-class buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. Catch Woodward Sports live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Boner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Boner and Broder.
Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
We're back. Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Let's get to mailbag, and we'll get to it. Steve-O, baby, mailbag. Lucas, did you play on a team? He did. And how would your head coach treat you? You could relate to some of this.
Yeah, and I'm not even gonna lie. Like, when I was in college, like, a big reason why I left college is I was not doing well mentally, and I just told my coach, I was like, my grades went in the fucking shitter. My performance on the field went in the shitter, and it was all had to do with confidence. And it's just one of those things where if you tell them, like, you have a team for a reason, one. Like, I went to my teammates. I told them what was going on. I was like, what do I do? I go talk to coach. I talked to my receivers coach. Because he already knew I was in fucking academic probation. My grades were... So I had to go there every day, and he's like, what's going on? It's just like, I'm not right. And I went to my head coach, and he's like, all right, take a couple practices off, come back, and then I was fine. But I just think it all comes down to communication. That's all it really comes down to.
There you go. Amen.
Amen. Shout out Coach Ryder at Tiffin.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, by the way, I know we're not going to have a show because it's on the weekends, but I got to say, because I found this out, because I got that Hutch hat, and I didn't realize that the design of the hat is actually in celebration of Veterans Day. It's the 11/11. So we won't be here, but tomorrow is Veterans Day, man. So salute to all our veterans out there that allow us to do what we love and not have to worry. So that's big time. Shout out to all the veterans. I know I got some in my family too. I don't know if you guys have some as well, but a lot of respect for those guys, man. Like, I love talking sports. I ain't got the nuts to go and go out there. I don't. So those guys deserve all my respect.
Shout out Danny Raxter.
Danny Raxter?
Vietnam vet.
There you go. Danny Raxter. He is a Vietnam vet, man. And you don't even have to know that to see him. The dude, he's built different.
That is a man's man.
Yeah, he's a man's man. Eric Allen, what time is your pregame show tomorrow since the Lions start at 4? I think it's still at 9:30. And I'm gonna get a confirmation on that, but I don't think the time will change. I think it'll be 9:30 to 11:30. That's what we did last time. For the Bucs game, because that was at 4 o'clock, Eric. So Sunday, 9:30 to 11:30, me and Booner and the rest of the crew there. So we'll talk about that as well.
Oh, you guys can watch the Germany game too while you're doing it.
Oh yeah.
Good dog.
Colts Patriots.
Wow.
Oh, fucking God, not a chance. That game's gonna be like 17-6.
Peyton Manning and Tom Brady are not walking through that door, unfortunately. That used to be one of the biggest matchups you'll ever see in a football season.
Gardner Minshew and Mac Jones.
Ugh. God, gross.
The bottom end of Bill Belichick.
Oh, jeez. Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien gets a little overhated, in my opinion.
We're not going there today.
I think he does.
Well,
I don't think he's like a stout coach, but I think he got a lot of flack. Like, he's a terrible GM, but he's a good coach. Solid coach.
I like how you changed that. See?
I'm not going to say
solid.
Like
I think solid. Yeah, I like solid a little more.
He's like
as a GM though, you're right. He is awful.
David Johnson for DeAndre Hopkins. Oh my, that's one of the worst trades.
Talk
in
about a
NFL
one-year
history.
wonder, David
with Deshaun
Johnson.
Watson as your quarterback too. Oh.
All right. Let's see. If you guys have any questions, bring them up because I'm looking through.
I got a question for you guys. I want to do it for mailbag.
All right, read it.
This is a shout out to Braylon because he put this tweet out. If you, as Lions fans, would you rather have a first round bye in the playoffs?
You know what? We have 2 minutes. We need to save this.
Save it?
Because me and you are going to get in a yelling match.
Oh, yeah,
so
we almost did.
But tease this because we're going to bring this. I'll do this Monday because honestly, me and you argued in the back about this. We could spend 15 minutes on this. And I want Sam to chime in too.
I'll tell you what, guys. More clarity will be given to what seed the Lions are more likely to have after this weekend. So this could be even more relevant. Hopefully it is.
And by the way, I'm going to address this. The real Kate Collins. Will the Pistons be better off trading Ivy? There's a question. And I'll tell you one thing, guys. I have not seen more of a nothing burger than what I saw yesterday with social media with Jaden Ivey.
Yeah, let him know.
Like in Pistons Twitter, there's a lot of people in there I respect, but man, it can be so toxic sometimes. The amount of bullshit that I saw surfing through Twitter yesterday about Jaden Ivey, is he really sick? Yeah, he's sick. It was already reported. Amari Sankofa, he's hearing reports he's dealing with a viral infection. Like the dude's sick, point blank. And people try reporting on, well, he took Pistons out of his bio. The guy never even had Pistons in his bio. Like he still has pictures on his Instagram with his Pistons uniform on. So
the dude's literally from Detroit.
Yeah, quit that.
Detroit
like
area.
Quit that. That narrative's over. See you later. Ivy's still a Piston. He's playing well, and when he gets back, hopefully he can play some more minutes. That's it. That's all. Stop trying to make something out of nothing. Like the whole Ivy no. Like, that's ridiculous. But moving on, just had to address that so people didn't actually believe that's real. He is staying in Detroit until maybe one day. I'm not saying he'll never get traded, but as of right now, he ain't going nowhere, guys. Like, he's fine. And he's not asking for a trade either. That'd be stupid. So it is what it is. ETN says, Mailbag, if you guys had to pick a Super Bowl matchup right now, who would you pick? I'm going to stick with mine. I'm going to stick with it. I said Bengals and 49ers. I want to stick with that. I don't want to bail on it.
I am going to go with Chiefs-Eagles.
Okay.
Repeat of last year. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully it's Chiefs-Lions.
I'm going to go... I think the Ravens really have a chance to make the Super Bowl. I really do. We got to see, to Flannel, your point, playoff Lamar, we got to see him turn around. But you know what? I'm going to go Bengals. I'm going to stick with my Bengals from the AFC because they're putting it back on. I'm going to go Bengals, and I'll go Bengals-Niners. Bengals-Niners.
All right.
Trippy Gypsy says, Mailbag, will the Red Wings push for trading for a goalie or continue waiting for Kosa to move up? I think if they're a playoff team, Trippy, they have to trade for a goalie. Like, you can't wait around. I get waiting for Kosa, but if you're a playoff team right now, then I think going and improving goaltending is important. Like, that's a problem to me right now.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll be a problem for years to come, but if you're a competitive team right now, I think a move needs to be made.
I mean, I want to see Kosa up really, really bad. But yeah,
me too.
I mean, I'm not going to say that goaltending was the reason that they lost the game last night.
No, not last night.
But speaking on the Red Wings a little bit, that's I believe, in the last 5 home games, they've accumulated a grand total of 4 points. That's not good enough. I mean, they started the year 5-1, and now they're 7-5-2. Like that's. I'm not saying that their playoff hopes are over or anything like that, or panic too much, but it's still playoffs or bust. Because you've proven in stretches that you can. I mean, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to the Red Wings. They've proven in stretches that they can be very, very good, and they beat the Boston Bruins at home. So I want to see them play better. They have to bounce back against Columbus. If they don't win that game, I'll actually be pretty upset.
Honolulu Blue Sparty Mailbag, if J-Mo got cooking from 7+ targets, would you be cool with a loss? I would. Oh my God.
Okay.
Throw the flag. Throw the flag, Honolulu Blue Sport.
J-Mo bot.
If you're asking me, wow, that is out of pocket. If you're telling me J-Mo has a big game but we lose, and I'm cool with that, like unless you're asking me what would I rather prefer, J-Mo not to play well in a win or J-Mo to play well in a loss. If that's the question, and I don't know if that was the exact thing, Honolulu Blue Sparty, clearly I'm going with a win. But I think what he means is if the Lions just don't play well, like no one plays well, it's just like a Ravens game kind of situation, and J-Mo has a big game, he'd be cool with it. Yeah, I mean, cool, But, like, preferably? No, Sam. I think we're all in lockstep there.
I mean, it almost happened in the Ravens game, except Jared Goff and Jamison Williams couldn't quite connect on some deep passes. I mean, I get what you're saying. If it's just one of those total team loss sort of things and Jamison Williams has a big play or gets more involved, I understand that. It's just this is kind of to what was discussed earlier on. This team is playing really, really well.
Right.
Whether J-Mo gets in rhythm or not, I don't think that will impact the team that much. I mean, the ceiling gets higher if Jamison Williams obviously becomes the star that he was drafted to be, but I just don't foresee that this year. And I think they'll be fine regardless.
One last question, and easy to ask it. Who do you got for UFC 295? Jesse asked us yesterday, JB, and I forgot your answer. You can repeat it, but I'll go with and I thought a lot about this because it's great fights, but I'm gonna go Sergey and Yuri. So I'm a little different from you, Easy. You're going with Alex, but I'll go Yuri and Sergey. What about you, JB? I forgot yours yesterday.
I believe I did Sergey and Alex.
Oh, so you're with Easy.
Yeah,
okay.
I went Easy on this one.
There you go. And shout out to Easy, by the way. Charles Johnson trains out at Lansing, fights next weekend. Yeah, they're having a UFC fighter join the show. So tune into the heavyweights tonight, man. They'll be
supposed
kicking.
to take a leg kick today from him too.
Oh, jeez.
It's gonna kill him.
Yeah.
I'm hoping at least from Easy.
Yeah, Easy. Yeah, why doesn't Easy take the kick, huh?
Why does Chris
You
have
take
to
the
do
kick,
that?
Easy. No, I'm just kidding. Freddie Feld 313 Metallica tonight at Ford Field. Great show as always. Freddie, have a blast, dude. That's going to be a lot of fun. Metallica at Ford Field. My goodness. Yeah, let us know how that is Monday. But again, appreciate you guys, everyone, for tuning into the show. It's been a great one. You guys have a great weekend. Happy Veterans Day. Again, appreciate all those who served us and allow us to talk about Jamison Williams on a Friday.
Shout out Danny Raxton.
Shout out Danny Raxton. Shout out to everybody else, man. Again, we'll see you Sunday, 9:30 to 11:30 pregame show. And, of course, you can catch the rest of the programming here on Woodward Sports. Big D Energy, 11 to 1. Ermanni and Edwards, 2 to 4 with Maz. Can't forget about him. Heavyweights, 5 to 7 with a special guest. And then Woodward Nights to close it out. I might be joining Woodward Nights today.
I'll be TDing. Woo. You got to come in studio then.
Lucas
Klotz, I'll see you there.
Hard-working man.
But I'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. For the Woodward Show crew, we'll see you.